up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick and tired with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick and tired with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick and tired with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick and tired with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick and tired with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick and tired with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Oh, look at me. I'm retarded. I'm a globe.
I'm scared, Dad.
Do you trust me, son?
Yes.
Come on, son. Rule number 1, never trust anybody.
I remember when I lost my mind.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind, coming to you 250 miles above your imagination from the International Fake Station, flying around up here in this IT nightmare. My co-host and co-pilot, Something Wong, is here to make sure that we are on track throughout the show. So any technographical glitches or anything, it's his fault. Okay, you can email him via my email and just bitch him out. He doesn't read English anyway, so say whatever the fuck you want. That's how that goes. Oh my God, look, we got us a good amount of people in here already 50 some people. This is looking good. Over on the Rumble side, who do we got over on the Rumble side? Do I got anybody? I should probably activate all that shit and have it running. There we go. That's me. Nobody. All right. Well, there's 2 people watching, but nobody in chat. How cool is that? Let's see here. So it looks like I got Dose of Reality with Brian Staley here calling us all Vatos. Okay. RPB 68 with us. RF is killing us. Softly's with us. JP, Eldon Bean. Post anything 2. What happened to Post anything 1? That's my big question. Let's see. Sandro's here. Saddlebum. Jehovah's lovely daughter, Barbara. I have a bone to pick with you. You had us all worried. Somebody in my chat saying there was a video of you with the shit beat audio, and I was like, what in the world? And then come to find out it's really, really old or whatever. I don't know what the situation was behind that, but I'm glad to know that you're better from it. Anyway, you scared the shit out of me. Got Tony Coriolis with us here tonight. Let's see who else we got that I don't know. Chilling. Mr. Super Sidewinder's got his little music notes all rolling around up in here. Psyop within a psyop. Barry Ross. Horse shit. I understand what that means. So what else we got? What else? Who else? Kim Ray's Riley Studio. Don got a whole bunch of people, and they're piling in as we speak. Look at, there's Mojo. Mr. Mojo rising. We got some crazy stuff going on. So what do you think about the miraculous healing of Donald Trump's bullet wound? I mean, this guy got his, oh, no. We've had you on here before, my friend. No. You're not coming up. You're usually always drunk and you're incoherent. So thank you for attempting anyways, Jeff. Yeah. We've had Jeff on here before, and Jeff is not you should think about it, because our Lord and Savior Jesus Trump, his ear healed up in a matter of 12 days. It's in the thumbnail. We got it. That was just taken like yesterday, day before. It's healed up. It's gone. Yet we had his doctor on live television saying that there was a wound consistent with a high velocity bullet and all this other nonsense, and that he definitely was hit with a bullet, and now here he is. What? Just healed up. Nothing. Not a fucking thing wrong with him. Holy cow. What do you think about all that? He used ointment. Oh my God, I know. I've seen so many different excuses for plastic surgery, ear prosthetic, everything except for the most obvious, which is this entire thing was a stage show. Just like I said right from the beginning, I think you're going to find out real quickly as you look at it discerningly that this was all indeed just a big freaking show. There's Ironworks. Ironworks, what's happening, my man?
Hey, family, what's going on, man? You see that nonsense on his ears, right? You see that?
Yep.
Oh, boy. He got those Wolverine healing powers. That's what he got.
I don't know if it's the adamantium that's in him, or
it's that weapon. He got that.
It could just be his greatness, Vlad.
Yeah.
It could just be his greatness.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
He's the best at growing back ears. You see
what I like about this is that as soon as it happened, we questioned it. That's what I like. Yes. We questioned it right on the spot. We were like, really? That rifle round? You sure? Are you sure? And my thing was, are you sure?
Right.
And people, what's crazy is how people were just, again, like they normally are. So what? You think they faked it? Yeah, probably.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. And I'm even more convinced of it now. I was about 90%. And now that I've seen the ear, I'm 100% convinced it's a show.
Exactly.
I don't even think that they killed nobody. There was nobody killed up on the fucking roof. No, I don't think any of it was real at all. None of it.
Because then again, they could have AI generated this person's face, and then they wanted to make sure before they put that news out there, all their ducts were covered, their rears were covered, and everything. These guys.
Well, and here's another thing too, that he's just some fictional character that they made up. No social media presence. They couldn't get into his phone, probably because there wasn't a fucking phone.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? He's a fictional character. And I don't think they covered their bases. Listen, if the deep state, quote unquote, wants you dead, you're dead.
That's it.
They're not going to fucking miss.
No. They'll have people. They would have had one on the roof. They would have had one under the roof. They would have had one in the tree. They would have had one in the bush. They would have had one in the ice cream stand. Yeah. There would have been one everywhere shooting a shot to make sure this man would have met his maker. Ain't no way in hell. Ain't no way in hell. No, if they're going to do something that big and that crazy, they're going to ensure that he's dead. They're not going to miss.
Absolutely. And this whole thing, man, you look at it and it's like, okay, this is all total like WWF nonsense. People are buying it and they're so into it that the level of excuses that people are making. I mean, even, it could have been a piece of shrapnel. And I'm like, a piece of shrapnel from what? What? Something has to come apart for there to be shrapnel. Yep. Where did shrapnel come from? Oh, it could have hit. It could have done it. And now you're in the realm of, well, it could have been this, and it might have been this, and he might be putty. And it's like, no.
Yeah, right.
That's what I said. Fake.
Yeah. I said the same thing. I was like, now if you have to, basically just like you said, if you have to come into it could have been. It's like, no, he didn't get shot at all. He didn't get shot at all. Here's the thing. I honestly don't believe Donald Trump has ever even been in a fight. I don't think he's ever been in a fight, to be honest with you. I don't think he's scrapped with anybody.
No.
No, I don't think so. I don't think
Well,
so.
this whole thing, it's just like I've used that analogy before. You see, like the one wrestler, he busts the other a guy over the head with a freaking chair or something,
Yeah,
right?
right.
And the blood streams down, and it's terrible and awful. And then, a couple hours later, after you've been to the match, you're like, geez, man, that was really something. And you go to the bar and you see those two motherfuckers sitting there having beers together, laughing about how good they fooled you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm seeing right here. This whole thing, just like I said, with the Hillary and Trump thing, with the lock her up, right? And then as soon as he had the vote secured, that was it. People was going, lock her up, lock her up. They're really excited for it now because you got the power to do it. And he says, no, we don't care about that anymore.
Oh my God. Oh, that's behind us. We fixed that.
Yeah. They're good people. Let's leave them alone, he said. I was like, motherfucker, that's what got you in office right there. That whole thing, that line at the debate.
Yep.
Well, this is his up in the game with the line at the debate. We got the iconic Iwo Jima photo. And I'll tell you something else that's funny about that Iwo Jima photo thing is all the rest of the stuff, you see a gray sky, but in this one, you see this blue sky in contrast to everything else. That was already touched up and everything. Look at the cool photograph we accidentally took. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh.
I mean, the whole thing, nothing about it. And it's like, I said it right off the bat, right from the beginning. I said, this is a stage production.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same
and
here.
they go, oh, and people say, well, somebody got killed. And I said, did they? How do you know somebody actually got killed?
Right. They'll tell you anything. They'll make anything up.
How many times have we seen casualties laying in body bags in war zones, and then you catch where one of them's sitting up in his bag smoking a cigarette or something, or trying to pretend that he's dead and shit. And it's just a photo op. It's just a photo op, and they use the same stock shit over and over, and people buy into it and go, look, there's people dead. And it's like, no, there's bags on the ground. That's all you know. And look, one of them's got a cigarette in his mouth smoking it.
Yep.
Come on.
Being tricked, being fooled, man. I tell you, this media is a powerful, powerful tool. And then you just couple that with a bunch of crooked politicians.
When was it? Ashley, one of the anchors, Ashley Banfield, and some other.
Remember, she's the one that got fired.
They were in the same fucking parking lot, acting like they were talking like from two remote different places.
Oh my God.
And you see this bus go right by Ashley Banfield, and then a second later you see the same bus go right by the other reporter and shit. I've seen it where they'll take like maybe 12 or 15 people and crowd them all together with signs like a protest and shit.
Making it look crowded, huh?
Get right in the middle of it, and they tighten in on that shot, and they're chanting and shit. And your perception is that whole area is so crowded with protesters that she's barely got room to talk and shit.
Yeah, right. Ha.
And you swell back out of the scene and you look and it's only about 14 people. The rest of the area is like a desert, there's nobody else around.
Oh my goodness, man.
They do that all the time, and that's what they can do. This is truly in real life the allegory of the cave. 100%. The television is that.
Yep.
They guide your perception. It's like having blinders and somebody else is moving your head as to what to look at. You're not getting the whole picture. You only get to see what they show you.
That's right.
I mean, they can make you think a whole country is awful, terrible, and filthy just by showing you the worst section of town.
Yep.
I mean, I could go take some video in Richmond and make you think the entire United States looks like that.
It's just, yep. Richmond, yeah. And I'll tell you what, man. And there you go. They fooled people again. These guys are good, man. They fooled everybody. And they're so good. They do it time and time again, and they're so good at it. Everybody falls for it. Oh my God, he got shot. And then the thing is they don't know that we've caught on to the lie, so they just add more bullshit to it. They were like, oh, so the gunman did this and he did that, and apparently he was a Republican. Wow, who would have thought? And I'm like, it ain't even true. The motherfucker didn't even shoot him, man. What are you talking about?
Well, you don't know that he actually did any of that shit either. I got a thing in the mail here. I guess it was about a year ago. It was a voter registration card and had me listed as a Republican. And I was like, I never registered to vote.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
talking
And
about?
I'm
Right.
certainly not in a political party. Get me off of that shit.
Yeah.
I don't consent to what you people do. Not at all.
These people just make it up as they go along. And I don't know when we're just going to decide, like, nah, man, we're not playing your bullshit no more. We're just not playing your bullshit no more. And
That's
it's sad.
it's amazing the number of people that are on board with this, that this is a fake.
Really?
It really is. Yeah. And even, I don't know if you know, I call him 40-year-old frat boy, Benny Johnson.
Ben Johnson. Yeah. Got his hair all done up nice.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, stop acting like you're 19. You're not 19. Grow up a little bit.
I think he's out of Atlanta, right?
I think he's out of DC, actually.
Is it DC? I thought it was
I
Atlanta.
think he is. But this guy, he's a real simp for the whole Trump thing, right?
Mhm.
He's just a real, anything Trump does, I mean, this guy would actually carry Donald Trump's dick around for him so that the weight didn't stress him. I mean, that's how in the tank this guy is. And he was going over a thing about the ear, because it's been recently being seen, and people are like, there's nothing wrong with the ear. And he's like, yeah, it did. Well, and you could see in his expression that he's like, this is fucked up, but I got to hold the line. This is fucked up, but I got to hold the line. You could see the disillusionment in his face that motherfucker lied. You can see it in his face, but he can't come out and say it. Brian Young from High Impact on his the Disturbing Illusion channel. He's got a new channel called The Disturbing Illusion. And he did a thing on that, a breakdown of Benny Johnson's reaction to that. Right. And I'm seeing that all over, like on Twitter and Facebook and shit. And people are like, oh, well, he's rich. He can afford expensive plastic surgery, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, fuck you, man. Do you know what happens to an injured ear? Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's one whole piece of cartilage. That whole piece of cartilage, that thing would have just been
well, not just that. There's a swelling and every other thing around it. There's not even a mark. I mean,
no. And then you see him scratching the back. Like I saw the picture where they show him scratching the back of his ear, and I'm like, this motherfucker, man. Like there he goes. Just bullshitting everybody. And so it's going to be a miracle as to see how this. And it's funny. He turned down a debate between himself and Kamala, right? Because it would have been interesting to see. You see, it would have been interesting. Hey, Donald, why don't you take that bandage off your ear? Since it's so bad, why don't you take that bandage off your ear so you can show everybody what it is?
Well, she's as fake as he is.
Oh yeah.
Their little staged recorded phone call with the Obamas endorsing her and shit, And I mean, that was just sickening. You could tell that was fake as hell.
Oh yeah.
And here he is. This is only like 12 days after the fucking.
Yep. Not even 2 weeks. Look at him.
Not a scratch. Not even a scratch.
Perfect. Ear perfect. That's his whole ear. That's his entire ear. Yep. It's going to be interesting. Man, oh man. I wonder when they have these town halls before election, if anybody's going to have the balls to ask this man, let's see your ear. Why does it look like you didn't fucking get shot? Why is it that you faked it? You know what? I wouldn't even give him a chance to say, why is it that you didn't get shot? I'd be like, why did you lie? Why did you lie to everybody for it and pretended like you got shot?
You only think I lied because you're a loser. You're the worst loser ever. In fact, you're such a bad loser that
Trump.
Yeah. And that's what'll happen. That's what anybody asks him about it. There's people out there right now that are equating this guy to Jesus.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The Bible says, blah, blah, blah. And then you'd get your ass beat. You'd go over there, talk that craziness, and then somebody try to beat your ass. Then you have to fight off the whole fucking crew.
Oh, Shades of Berlin, 1936, huh?
The Reich, is that the Reichstag?
Yeah, I'm talking about, yeah. Listen, you don't talk bad about the party. You're fucked up, man. He's making Germany great again. What's wrong with you? Aren't you a patriot? Are you one of these communists? Exactly. That's exactly what was going on. Come on. It's no different.
Damn, dude.
It's the same thing.
You can't rely on you can't rely on the media to cover anything. This is all grassroots. This is everybody on the internet. and soon they're gonna probably do a number and probably try and shut this damn operation down.
Oh Lord.
What's up?
So the audience boos the Israeli anthem. The Israeli competitors and the Israeli competitors and wave Palestinian flags at the match between Israel and Paraguay during the Olympic Games in Paris. And here's some video of that.
Let's
See,
see it.
stuff is not going. They're little sympathetic, feel sorry for me, and we can get away with every fucking thing is gone.
Thank God. It's
People
about,
are not.
I'd love to see that. Oh yeah, play it. Yes. Yes. I love it. More. More booze.
Their anthem sounds like the sappy soundtrack to the like Schindler's List or something.
That's exactly what it is. They want you to have sympathy for them.
Yeah.
Man, fuck all of that. Excuse my language, y'all.
What was it? Somebody said Israel's the only country that could be screaming in pain while beating the shit out of somebody.
Yeah, exactly. You just saw this woman get her face blown off. Who do you think trains those police to do shit like that?
Right?
It's those motherfuckers.
Yes.
It's them. It's their whatever fucking police agency that they got. It's those sons of bitches.
They bring
that
a lot of our
poison here to
cops.
this country.
A lot of our cops go over and train with the IDF.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Fucking crooks,
Then they bring
man.
that shit over here. See,
Yeah.
they have an award for killing pregnant women.
What?
Yeah, getting 2 with 1 bullet is what they call it. 2 for 1. Make no mistake, it's not because they feel threatened. It's because, listen, Israel is a fucked up evil place, man. I'm just going to put it out there, man. They really are. They don't have a history. They have a criminal record. That's the reality of that.
Yes, they do. We lost 72 sailors, Marines, and civilians in the USS Liberty incident in 1967. All right.
Yep.
June 8th, 1967. We lost all those souls and 134 injured. Israel didn't have to take account for it. Not once. They didn't have to take account for any of that. And this is something that the government decided they wanted to cover up for 30 years after that incident had happened. And Israel has never had to fucking take account for that at all.
No. And they don't dare make them come to account for it.
Why would they?
A vast majority of our Congress people have dual citizenship.
Yes.
They have to sign an unconditional pledge to support Israel, or they get no APEC money. So, even if Israel is being a turd in the punch bowl, you still have to be on their side over it. And it's like, I'm not siding with the devil. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
So it was the congresswoman that she was in and then got out because she wouldn't Kinney. What was that woman's name? Kinney. Cynthia McKinney. Cynthia McKinney. She wouldn't sign the pledge, and she only served 1 term. But here's a fucked up thing. Did you know you only got a term for a representative is 2 years? Okay. And you only have to serve 1 term and you get lifelong benefits, man.
That's right. Yep.
Nice.
That's right. That's
Where do
true.
I sign up?
That's
now
you know
what's crazy is what I mentioned with that whole USS Liberty incident the terrorist act that Israel actually committed during that time. It was fascinating is that I mentioned this. Yeah, I mentioned this to my sailors, right? Because in the job that I did, flying, doing ISR and stuff like that, this is like we would have qualifications and stuff. So this is stuff that I would bring up, but incidents that had occurred on ISR missions in the past, right? And so, like the sailors would be totally oblivious to it. And then I'd mention it to them, and they're like, "That never happened." And I'm like, "You don't know about the Liberty incident that happened with sailors, Marines, and civilians in '67?" They're like, "That happened? Are you serious?" I'm like, "Absolutely, that happened." I was like, "So I sit here listening to you talk about go Israel, kill those terrorists." I'm like, those are the terrorists. They're the fathers of terrorism. David Ben-Gurion even admitted that they're the fathers of terrorism.
Well, you got to look at this too. Johnson was complicit in that, and the whole thing was to make it look like Egypt had done it,
Yes,
so that we would go in on Israel's side. This was during the 6 Days War.
Yep.
As it stood already, they already captured the Golan Heights and kept it. Okay. And they were banking on the U.S. coming in behind them and using U.S. military might to get the greater Israel. In fact, there is a unit of IDF that their unit patch actually displays the greater Israel map on it.
Jesus.
Which is everything from the Euphrates to the Tigris River. That's what the two stripes on the flag represent. Yeah. Guess what's in the way of that? A little thing called Iran.
Yep. Oh, wow. Wow.
Did you throw me out, Soph?
No, I did not, sir. You just popped out of there. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know what happens either. It's the internet's crappy.
Amazing how
he locked up on me again. He keeps doing that.
He was doing it for the last weekend. Eventually,
yeah, I'm not even talking about. Oh, go ahead.
Didn't he do the same thing with the Syrian boats just recently, trying to get everybody on Israel's side when they were in the Suez, or not the Suez, but in the in their port over there. The CIA was pretending to be terrorists in Syria.
Oh yeah, with ISIS and all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the same. It's the same damn Levant affair thing. They have the same story. Yeah, just boom, blow it up.
Yep. It's a series of FFs, and here you go, Charlie Brown, kick the football again. Send your kids off to die for Israel in another desert war.
Yeah,
nice.
And that's exactly what's going on. And then when we had BB was over here in the addressing our Congress. This guy got I think out of the whole hour of his talk, it was 27 minutes of it was standing ovations by our feckless Congress people, right? And his whole thing was about he was really pushing the idea that we got to go to war with Iran again. He's pushing that whole idea, and then even saying that Iran was probably behind the assassination. And he even said that they'll probably try again. Now, this is how you know Israel's going to pull some shit, right? That they might try again. And if they assassinate Donald Trump and American leaders don't do something about it with Iran, then they'll be seen as feckless cowards.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And Joyce B said that he got 55 standing ovations. And what's crazy
that
is
many?
how they invite 55. What's crazy is how they invite this fucking parasite.
Yeah, I'm lucky if I get a
criminal.
handshake.
They invite this fucking parasite, this criminal here to do this nonsense. Every fucking time. So I think since the Obama administration, they've allowed this motherfucking parasite, cockroach, to just come here and just do this nonsense.
I was just over at Eddie's. He's doing a hit piece on Jaron and Duffy right now.
Oh no, I'll have to check that out after I get out of here.
It's funny.
Well, Wetsit is supposed to have a fight. They're setting up a fight, a boxing match between him and the guy from Lore Lodge.
Oh, you mean Soy Boy?
Yeah, Soy Lodge.
Yeah, Soy Lodge, yeah.
Soy Lodge, yeah.
I'm tired of being nice.
Did you see his picture?
Oh no.
Oh yeah,
he's a chunky monkey, dude. Ain't no doubt about it.
Oh no. This would intimidate even the most courageous of heart. Yeah, this is it right here.
Let's see the soy.
Brace yourselves. Brace yourselves.
We're bracing. Whoa.
Oh,
scary, dude, I'm telling
even
you.
a cigarette behind the ear. Right?
Ooh, sweet.
And what Whitsitt said, what did he say? He said, okay, it's official. Laura Lodge and I will be boxing tentatively around October. Exact time and location to be announced. I didn't realize he was this cool prior to him posting this picture, but I'll manage. If you are interested in being on the card or have suggestions, DM me.
Wow.
He's a regular pony boy. Look at him.
Yeah. I mean, greasers. Greasers
right.
and socias, man. That's right out of the Outsiders right there.
Oh man.
Most of these kids now never watch that shit, dude. They're
Please
watching
tell me, please.
Edward.
You're
and
dairy,
what's the
right?
other
You're
Twilight
dairy,
one?
right?
Yeah, I drink milk, dude. Fuck it. I gotta get the what is it? The almond milk and the oat milk and what else they got now?
Coconut soy, like coconut
How
soy.
the fuck do you milk an almond?
That's what I keep asking when I see it. Like, how do you get milk out of that shit, dude? Tell me now.
Little
Yeah.
tiny fucking milkers down
Yeah,
there.
right.
Squeeze that shit hard, man.
Yep.
It'll come out.
Yeah, man.
Boys, I decided
saw
I'll let
him
you know that
cooking.
stop. I'm gonna take off. I gotta go back to work.
All
But,
right,
Roger,
man. Thanks for coming
Roger,
on.
how did
told the Cookie
everything
Monster
go
to come
for
over.
how did
Duffy?
everything go for the presentation? I
what
forgot to ask
presentation,
you.
man? I
You didn't get to do it at the church?
No. He wants me to set it up later. He wants to check me out. So he wanted to meet me in person. He make sure it's my email he sent it to, and he wants to check me out, verify me. He's playing it safe. So
I
he didn't-
commented on that picture. I said, "Stay golden, Pony Boy."
Oh, good God. I don't think he's gonna have to go look that up. He won't know what Pony Boy is.
That's
It's a
all right.
generational thing, you know. Yeah. I didn't know.
God.
Remember Shana Na? Shana
Oh
Na,
yeah.
Shana Na.
That show, Shana na na, Shana na na na.
Those
Yeah,
are the original greasers back in what the early '60s, late '60s.
Good night, sweetheart. It's time to go.
That Shana na.
Do-do-de-do-do.
And James Dean was a wannabe, dude. That's all I gotta say.
Shana
poser.
na.
I'm trying to find that thing with. Oh yeah, this is an important message that's been put out by
Later, guys.
Tasty Freeze. Do not serve this man a chili dog. Thank you, the Tasty Freeze management. Oh, you don't get it, do you, Vlad? That's John Mellencamp, man. That's John Cougar.
Don't and sucking on chili dog. Oh okay, sucking on a chili dog. I was like,
I'm like, I'm getting to a point where my references are too old for people and shit.
yeah. I was like, okay, don't serve him a chili dog. I was like,
Is this it here? Yeah, two baby. Oh, this is some of the rhetoric he was given. Listen to this dumb shit. I don't like this really happened. Come on, man. Listen.
They stand with people who came into the kibbutzim, into a home. The parents hid the children, the two babies, in the attic, in a secret attic. They murdered the families, the parents. They found the secret latch to the hidden attic, and then they murder the babies. These protesters stand with them. They should be ashamed of themselves.
Look at this shit.
oh Lord, nope.
They stand with people who came into the
I mean, that's
kibbutzim.
just sickening. That's just sickening that, you know, these people, and that's like, what? Nobody did that. Shut up. You know,
People standing for that bullshit. I'm hoping people got pictures of every person that stood and applauded. I'd hope so. I'd hope they got a picture or a video of every person that stood and applauded, and they posted somewhere.
see, here's why I don't give a shit what kind of video anybody gets of the sun. How are we going to do that, right?
你们看那三个太阳哦，我的天呐，三个太阳！哇，看那
But I saw it on video.
Yeah, right.
I saw it on video.
3 sons.
So was there actually three suns? Was there
Yeah.
actually three suns? What do you think?
It's even more round because there isn't just one sun out there for 24 hours,
Right.
but three suns. So it's super round.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's like, oh, come on with y'all. This is going to be the final end of it, huh? I'm trying to find that thing with Bibi talking about that. If they try to kill Trump again, you know, I might have just saved it and didn't.
You know what's crazy is seeing him talk with somebody that's not supposed to be president after his speech.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what? They sitting down having dinner. Now you get to see Donald's ear is in full effect, healed. And I'm like, God damn, this is just wrong in a million different ways.
And look at this crazy fucker. I want to know what this hand gesture is. I want to know what this hand gesture is. Watch this guy back here. I think it means steal second. I have to poop. I don't know. But it's definitely not like a natural gesture that somebody makes. So if anybody out there is an expert on these hand signs and shit.
I'm trying to do that. That's not natural at all.
Yeah,
I
mean,
like
it's
your fingers. Some people clasp their fingers. No, that doesn't look natural at all.
No. Damn it, where is this thing?
Shifty Eyes Shady says Satan's horns.
Well, that could be, yeah. That could be.
Coherence 88 Victoria Salt says Pedialites.
Pedialites. Okay. Maybe it might be. They might have their own. By now, I'm sure, since their whole little code system's been broken. Yeah. I mean,
the hot
they didn't. Once the Allies broke the Enigma machine, they didn't use it anymore. You know, I mean, damn it, I don't see it. But anyway, he was saying if there's another attempt on Trump. Is this it? Yeah, here he was talking about Iran assassinating Trump. Listen to this shit.
And as we recently learned, they even brazenly threatened to assassinate President Trump. And as we recently learned, they even brazenly threatened to assassinate President Trump.
Brazenly, because you said so. Didn't you tell us they were they're only like months away from having a nuclear weapon for about the last 25 or 30, 40 years or so?
Yep. And supposedly they have their own theories and sets of nuclear weapons, right? Israel's supposed to have their own.
Israel's supposed to, yeah.
Yeah. Because they're also the same country that hasn't signed the Non-Nuclear Proliferation Act.
And that was one of the points of contention between Israel and JFK. Was that right there?
Yep. And setting up a nuclear power plant in Dimona.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's speculation that potentially they could have been involved with his assassination as well. And if they were, wouldn't even surprise me. Look at all the craziness that happened in the 60s, and their name is involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't fucking surprise me.
And the 60s.
Parasites. Yeah. Bunch of damn parasites, man. Straight up parasites.
I thought maybe I had. Oh, it'd probably help if I was in the right directory. Oh Lord, have I got these backwards or how have I got these set up? Yeah, nobody's putting up with the dumb shit anymore, man. They're just kind of going, like this kid, right? There was this kid talking about the.
And what do you think about the game?
They were asking about the game between Israel and Paraguay, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's this little Jewish guy with the Israeli thing. Oh, I don't have the right one. All right, there we go. You see this little man back here inside with his little Israeli shit on, right? And they're asking this kid what he thinks about the match. And listen to this little snipey ass Jew.
And what do you think about the game?
I thought it was a good game. I thought in the beginning Israel was better, but now Mali is destroying them. I think Israel is not bad. Israel is not bad. But I think Mali is going to destroy them today. No, I'm just talking about football. I'm just talking about football. Free Palestine, free.
There we go. I love it. No. Yeah. Man, they talk all.
Yeah, man. He was like, no politics, no politics. And then he started like, you know what? I've had enough of your fucking ass. Free Palestine.
Exactly.
I'm like, yeah, buddy, go.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. You got people out there that don't even agree with all that bullshit that's going on in that country that are just caught up in the whirlwind. But the thing is it's too late, man. It's too late. Now the people on the ground hate those motherfuckers, and that's good for them. And it's good for them. You can't play with those people. No, not those people, but the Zionists or disease, excuse me. You just can't. They ruin everything for everybody.
Well, and you guys have heard me say this the other, in fact, very recently, right? So this guy comes on Twitter. Let me show you this. It's his Insurrection Barbie. Okay. And I think it cracks me up, some of the shit people say, right? He says Donald Trump predicted every single thing we saw over the past 4 years. How did he do that?
Yeah.
Right. This is a must-watch video and must send video to all your liberal friends because we can't afford another 4 years. Well, I retweeted it and I said, of course it happened as predicted. Trump was in on his own loss of the election. This entire thing is a big production. And yes, even the fake assassination attempt.
Thank you.
Okay. So check this out. And this is what I'm saying. He predicted just like Nostradamus. Look, everything I said came true, right?
Predictions about how things would turn out.
But if Biden wins, your borders are gone.
Crisis on the border with Mexico.
The middle class is gone.
A baby formula shortage.
The supply chain crisis on full display in grocery stores.
The Keystone XL pipeline has been blocked.
Your safety is gone.
13 U.S. troops killed in Kabul this week.
The U.S. is now moving its embassy personnel out of the capital.
Gas prices going $5, $6, $7 for a gallon.
Canceled its planned oil and gas lease sales in Alaska.
Halt oil and gas leasing and drilling on federal land.
Gas prices soaring to the highest average ever recorded.
Flood your communities with criminal aliens, drugs, and crime to spend trillions of dollars rebuilding foreign nations.
I'm sending Congress a supplemental budget request. It's going to allow pensions and social support to be paid to the Ukrainian people so they have something in their pocket.
The U.S. will send more than $1 billion in new aid to Ukraine.
President Biden is pledging another $150 million in military assistance.
Fighting foreign wars and defending foreign borders.
So for all those predictions of doom and gloom, here's where we stand.
You want to use the word recession or depression?
And you know Biden, he can't stand up to the lunatics running his party. He can't even find his way off the stage without
him.
Look. But of course it went like that. He planned it. I'm sure that stimulus that you signed, that $6 trillion stimulus didn't help the economy any, did it, Donald? I'm sure that the dumping of Federal Reserve notes back into the American economy due to other countries attaching their money to the ruble and the BRICS nation going online didn't have anything to do with the way things are. You just got to stand in to take the fucking blame for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you want to know what's crazy is that these guys will bet against this country when these things happen. And so that'll
about how things would turn out.
Yeah, that'll just increase their wealth like overnight. Nancy Pelosi does it all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They got their ears to the ground as to what the market's going to do. So they know exactly what trades to place and when to place them. And these motherfuckers, man.
Well, I guess the Trump people are beating people up and shit too. This is the claim now. Starting to sound like brown shirts. I mean, I'm not saying it's actually happening, but look at this guy.
Man, this ain't right. So I made a funny video before, about me putting Harris signs for President 2024 all around my lawn. Well, my neighborhood is filled with Trump supporters, and I guess they didn't like it. They didn't like the banner hanging off the second story window out of my house. So I actually, look at my eye. I got jumped by a bunch of Trump supporters. It's not right. All I was doing was going to my car. Then I went to my mailbox. Then my neighbor started yelling some really mean things. I guess they don't like the fact that Harris is beating Trump in the polls, and that there's no more Sleepy Joe, and that she's going to be the first woman president, and that he is now the oldest running person. But it's just a shame. It's just a shame. Got smacked by a Trumpster. It's not right, man. Not right.
All right, look in the chat.
What? You got
look in the chat. Do we not have some discerning people? Do we not have discerning people? Everybody's like, it's fake as shit, fake as shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Hi, Barbara.
Hello, how are y'all?
Amazing to see you live and in person.
My doggone headphone won't work. Doggone it.
Well, you sound good.
Oh, awesome. As long as you're not anybody else. Anyways, I am reporting for my public humiliation and spanking here. I am so, oh my goodness, I am so overwhelmed by the outpouring of love and concern. Oh, it touched my heart so much. And let me turn that off there.
Yeah, you had us scared for a second.
Yeah, man.
You know, this is the perfect stream to jump in and do this on. I was led to something this morning that I was supposed to post, and I posted it. But it led me back to these pictures from 3 years ago, because it's the last time I was literally physically attacked from the spiritual realm. And I climbed up on the air conditioner, and I'm little bitty. And it's like, as soon as I got on, it's like somebody shoved me backwards. And I'm fused shoulder to pelvis. I hit the concrete of the patio. So it's a miracle, number one, I didn't break my fusion or my hip.
Oh my
But
God.
if you look, man, my head wounds, they're pretty impressive compared to Trump's. Plus, I was covered from head to toe in bruises for 2 weeks. Anyways, I am so sorry I alarmed y'all. But I don't even remember doing those videos, because I knew I was in spiritual warfare, and I immediately addressed and rebuked those attacking me, which is why I was led to those videos and asked to post them today, because so many in this community are currently going through the most horrendous spiritual warfare they have ever experienced. And unfortunately, a lot of people aren't aware that's exactly what's going on. So yeah, that's why. And it's kind of like to show how I deal with it, because it's worked very effectively. They've only attacked me psychologically since, and I laughed that crap off, because
well, when I saw that, and before I realized that it was old like that, right? I'm sitting here thinking, oh shit, I'm going to jail. Oh, so you better making a trip to Colorado, get bail money ready. I'm gonna get whoever that motherfucker is, buddy. You don't do that shit. No way. That's what I was thinking to myself. I was like, who done that shit? They're gonna know.
Yeah,
no,
if you gotta get the house blessed, I mean, by all means, you gotta do what you gotta do. Get somebody, get that thing blessed, get a shaman, get a priest, get another priest, get a Buddhist monk, whatever.
I don't need a plat. My beloved father. Oh my goodness, you don't tangle with his daughter.
Okay. I know holy water does wonders, so always a blessing is always good. And prayer is strong. Prayer in numbers is very, very powerful. So
amen. And if people truly knew the power of prayer, more people would be like on their knees all the time doing it.
Yeah.
I dip my 45 ACP hollow points in holy water, just to make sure,
Get them ready. You never know.
Hey, I got my bag of dicks.
Oh God, no. Hey, Barb, I got some sage. I can come over and burn it at your house for you.
You know, I have sage. I burn it. I burn white sage.
Good.
Yeah.
It keeps them away.
I got a legion of angels watching over me. There ain't nobody getting near me at this point. I'm convinced of that. So
I'm glad to see you're up, because I thought you were like walloped good.
Yeah.
Well, I
The
was
videos
3
weren't
years
nice.
ago. I was bruised and battered for a few weeks there, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice. I'm
that's
just
nothing.
wanted to say hi to you. I'm gonna go back to the chat. I got to work. Bye, guys.
Well, have a blessed
Yeah,
night.
Raj.
I definitely will. As long as I keep away from Duffy, but he's around the corner. I actually know him now. So.
He's your friend. He's your friend.
He's
you guys
my best
hang
friend.
out.
Yeah, we should.
You guys can hang out and hate on flat earthers together.
Oh yeah, I can go. They got a ballpark next to the church there. We could go out there and hit a couple.
There you go.
Yeah, why not? All right, later, guys.
Later, bud. So this was pretty good. This is Candace Owens on this brainwashing techniques. This is kind of interesting. Listen to this.
CIA, back in the day, did this experiment where they placed 18 people in a room. 17 of those people were actually CIA agents, and one of them was just an unwitting member of the public. So imagine they pick you, you think that you're going into a room with 17 other people who are from the street just like you, but in reality, those 17 other people are agents, and they are conducting an experiment on you. So the person that was running the experiment showed every single person in the room a picture of a triangle. It was very clearly a picture of a triangle. And he asked every person in the room to simply state what they saw on the picture. Well, despite it clearly being a triangle, all of the agents were instructed to say square. So imagine you're in this room with 17 other people. You think that you're all off the side of the street, and they start going around, and everyone says, "Oh, what is that? A square, a square. What do you see? A square, a square, a square, a square." Well, by the time it gets to you and you're the 18th person, you're going, "Oh, am I crazy? I see a triangle." And guess what that 18th person said? Well, they said square because they didn't want to be the crazy person in the room. Really think about the implications of that experiment. That is exactly how the media works. They are the agents in the room that are repeating square, 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 until you're supposed to just completely abandon reason and just join them and say, no, totally. That's a square.
Globe, 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 globe,
Exactly.
globe, 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 globe. Yeah. Same
And then-
fucking thing.
Yeah, that's how it's been my whole life. I've been the one to
CIA,
always say goose.
back in the day, did this
Meanwhile, everybody's calling a duck. I'm the only one to be like goose.
Same here.
Me?
Oh,
Goose.
no, man. I'm sorry. I see it's fucking wrong. You guys are wrong, man. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the question is, which one of us in this community is not like the prodigal son or daughter, the black sheep that the shepherd left the 99 for to come and find and bring home?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I am.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
Humbled by it too. Humbled.
I'm always like that, and it's like I'm so used to it now. I'm like, whatever, man.
Yeah, I know. Same here. Like, I don't even care.
Yeah. Right.
Somebody was saying something about that, today. They said, because we had Zerzus on there, and they said, "Did you know one of his thumbnails has you in a crosshairs?" And I was like, "No, I wasn't aware of that, but I don't care." I really don't. He says, "Oh, you didn't see it?" And I says, there's little channels that make fucking bullshit videos about me all the time. I get notifications saying so-and-so, Jack of all trades mentioned you or some other shit. I don't care. Him and his 5 viewers can enjoy it. Get together with Sean Hawkins, get 10 viewers. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. Say what you want to. I'm going to say what I do. I'm going to do what I do. And that's it. And even like Duffy, he's like, well, these other people are going to delete their channels if there's a 24-hour sign. I was like, well, good for them. Well, are you going to delete yours? No. Why would I fucking do that? That's retarded.
But David, it's so ridiculous. Somebody wasted their time doing a hit piece on me of all people. Called me the craziest flat earth woman. And I'm like, I'm not even flat earth. I think it's toroidal shape, personally. These people are morons.
Yeah, man. I got the boot from employment because I was speaking my mind. I was making a pretty good living, and it was, it was what it was. But my thing was, I didn't even get too upset about it. I was just more disappointed in the fact that it happened. I was just like, I was a good worker. I did well there. I made friends, but the enemies just hated me because I was a flat earther.
Do you want to know the other side of that coin?
Mm.
My beloved Father removed you from that situation.
Oh yeah. Oh, I totally believe it, because I'm in a better place with better people, and
Yes.
it's so much better, and I don't put as much stress on myself at all. So the opportunity is better, and I think you're absolutely right. God did this, and He did it for a reason. But I'll tell you. Let me tell you another crazy thing of my last place of employment. I'm not even going to talk about them per se, but rather the type of people there. Did you know that they had a Baphomet statue inside? Yeah, oh, absolutely. Inside of where we worked. And the thing is one of the people, they won it for it was like their 8th year anniversary. And you get to pick what it is you can get as a prize, right? And after she made her 8th year, they called it a garden gnome. That's what it was called, a garden gnome. And the statue, I'd say, was around like 20 inches high. And she picked it. That's what she picked as her prize. And they gave her a statue of Baphomet. And then that's what she had in the office. And I'm sitting there looking at this thing, and I'm like, y'all just let her have that. And it's good. And it's
just open the door and invite the demons in next time.
Yes. Dude, they had one in Detroit City Hall. Right in the rotunda, man. I mean, it's like, are you shitting me, man? They're not even hiding it. You saw the opening Olympics thing?
Yeah.
They're not even hiding it. They mocked the Last Supper. In fact, it was so terrible, and they got such backlash that the Olympic Committee removed the video and is now copyright striking anybody that plays it.
Wow.
Oh
Now,
God.
for them to do that says volumes.
It does.
Yeah, exactly.
Thought this was along the lines of what we were talking. The UN Human Rights Council found Israel guilty of war crimes. Israel authorities are responsible for war crimes. This is, quote, extermination, murder, and using starvation.
Hallelujah.
Yep.
See, and you're going to see that on Fox? Hell no. Only places here on Al Jazeera. Well, let's hear what they say. Anyways, it's kind of long. It's 2 minutes, and if they got real thick foreign accents, I'm not listening for very long, man.
In relation to Israel's military operations and attacks in Gaza from 7th October, we conclude that Israeli authorities are responsible for war crimes, crimes against humanity, and violations of international humanitarian and human rights law, including extermination, intentionally directing attacks against civilians and civilian objects, murder or willful killing, using starvation as a method of war, forcible transfer, gender persecution targeting Palestinian men and boys, sexual and gender-based violence amounting to torture, and cruel or inhuman treatment. Israel's total siege of the Gaza Strip has weaponized the provision of life-sustaining necessities for strategic and political gains, including through cutting off supplies of water, food, electricity, fuel, and other essential supplies, including humanitarian assistance. It constitutes collective punishment, disproportionately impacting pregnant women and persons with disabilities, and is causing grave harm to children, including starvation-related deaths. We found that the immense numbers of civilian casualties in Gaza and widespread destruction of civilian objects and infrastructure were the inevitable result of an intentional strategy to cause maximum damage, disregarding the legal obligations of distinction, proportionality, and adequate precautions. Israel also forcibly transferred almost the entire population into small enclosures that are unsafe and uninhabitable. The deliberate use of heavy weapons with large destructive capacity in densely populated areas constitutes an intentional and direct attack on the civilian.
I mean, do you need more? You need more.
Right. Yeah, you know what's sad is that they can say there and call Israel. They can call Israel guilty till the cows come home.
Nothing
Guess
will
what?
happen.
They got all that bark. They have no teeth to make that bark something. That's the problem. And if they're going to call this out, something needs to happen. Nothing is going to happen. Who is it? I think it's who's this guy up here? It's psyop within a psyop, not psyop within a psyop. Somebody in there already called it. They were like, and nothing will happen. The void, right?
We all know the world's a stage, right, bro?
What's up, bro?
Cage, what's happening?
Yeah, thank you for having me, Dave Burr. It's been a long time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
I mean, I figured I'd pop back up. But yeah, it's, you know, the world's a stage. It's like, what the fuck? Now they're taking our energy, even thinking about it constantly over and over and over and over and over again. You know what I mean? They're kind of like, I think that's part of the play, really. All right? You know, to have people talking about it and put their energy into it.
I like to go, look, here's dot number 23. And look, here's dot number 24. Draw a line. Oh, and here's dot number 26. There must be a 25 in between. Here it is.
And here's the red dots on the number 9.
Pointing it out, and you're going, holy shit, I see the whole thing as clear as day. And it would seem completely unrelated until you find all the connections. And it all intertwines. It all intertwines. Everything.
All of a sudden you have an epiphany, huh, Dave? Everything starts making sense.
Good.
Man, I tell you what, I thank God for this flat earth community that we're in, because you see conspiracy after like you see it before it even comes a lot of times, or as it's happening, you're like, okay, that's bullshit. Because we already know these other things ain't true. That's just more bullshit.
I'm just gonna line up the red dot with the 19 and keep it going.
Well, like they say, Vlad, you know, the only difference between a conspiracy theory and reality is a few months.
Yeah,
there you go. It is anymore. In fact, it's only a couple of days now.
Yeah, correct. A couple hours sometimes.
I mean, it's like you figure if, like, here it is, old crazy tinfoil hat Dave here, you know, in his mock-up space station, right? Who called this fucking thing out as a hoax right from the fucking day one? Hello, it was me. Everybody else was going, oh, there's 2 shooters. Oh, look.
I've seen Dave for many years. Dave's never changed. I can vouch for Dave. Dave has been on here since like before any of that fucking shit. Right at the beginning, he's always been on here saying the same thing.
Well, back in the day, I had a podcast by Smoke Signal. That was like really a long time ago when I was young.
Well, just barely over a year ago, Dave. I mean, you didn't even have 100 subs hardly. I mean,
I had a podcast through Morse code.
Shit.
No, what about the cage?
What about the what?
The clicking sounds in it. No,
oh, that's Barbara. Barbara making a clicking noise.
And that's me?
It drives away demons.
I want to deal with that.
I don't know, man. Did you see where Marjorie Taylor Greene told what she said to this reporter? This was kind of funny. Now, I think she's a big fucking plant too, but you know, this is funny.
Can you tell me why so many people that support Donald Trump love conspiracy theories, including yourself? He seems to attract lots of conspiracy theorists.
Well, let me tell you, you're a conspiracy theorist, and the left and the media spreads more conspiracy theories. We like the truth. We like supporting our Constitution, our freedoms, and America first. So,
what about Jewish space lasers? Tell us about Jewish space.
No, why don't you go talk about Jewish space lasers? And really, why don't you fuck off? How about that?
Thanks. Thank you very much. Can you tell me what?
I have a conspiracy theory. My conspiracy theory is that that big ass microphone is really like their vibration wand or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's my conspiracy.
Shit, man.
Probably.
Unreal.
But
I
yeah,
hate when they do this whole left-right dichotomy bullshit. It's like you're both. I'm like, y'all both crooked, man. Like, shut up, y'all both crooked. Like,
now
please, chill with the bullshit.
here's something that I don't know how many of y'all have considered this, because I certainly hadn't, and it was brought to my attention. Before Butler, Pennsylvania, they had not televised any of Trump's fucking rallies, but this one was televised.
Really?
Yeah.
So they were all videoed ahead of and then put on?
They wanted people to see it. Now, whether or not
So wait, was the one in Pennsylvania, was it televised live?
That's supposedly.
I mean, I will never start another video in my life being like, hey, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but no, I am. I am, loud and proud. But does anyone else find it weird that CNN live streamed the rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, but for some reason had never live streamed any of the other rallies before? I mean, I will never start another video in my life being like, hey, I'm not a conspiracy.
I mean, especially for CNN to do it.
Right, because they're anti-Trump.
The world's a stage. They're all working together. We're going to sit here and actually think that there's left or a right or, like, you know, some sort of a vote that you really have. That's fucking complied. That just, you know, it makes you feel like you have some sort of, you know, a choice, but really, you know, it happens either way. They're all working together. It's fucking ridiculous.
I love it.
You know what's interesting, Dave? My so-called awakening is so different than everybody else's, because mine began in the medical community from which I came from, that destroyed my health with products to fix me. So I've been in a federal MDL multi-district litigation suit since 2015 that I refused to settle because I read the fine print, and if I settle, I'm left with significant.
Wait, sorry, ma'am. Ma'am, did I hear that correctly? You're in the medical industry and you learned through the products they were pushing on to you that it was doing no good for you at all and actually destroying your being. So it's like it's almost like Hegelian dialect. You know, they're going to give you the problem, give you a solution, and then you know, have the synthesis through it all after it.
Oh, it's even more nefarious than that.
It's even worse.
The products that destroyed my health are petroleum-based products, and that were grandfathered in the 90s off of another product removed from the flippin' market.
What?
Wow.
Now, these products destroyed millions of people's lives, both male and female, because it's used to correct female problems and hernias.
Yes, ma'am. They definitely do use the ovaries as a way to deal with it.
No. You know
they attack that. That's one of the attack mechanisms is through the reproduction organs. And
well, yeah,
the
there's been an assault on that. There's been an assault on that, and they want full dominance, full spectrum dominance on reproduction of people as well.
Yeah, for example, my mom's mom passed away when she was like 12 or something, and from ovary cancer or whatever it was.
No, this is far more nefarious. These products are the same thing as carpet backing. You know what your old carpet does? You know, that carpet backing, you know how brittle it gets?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
This crap is perforating people's organs. I went from 3, I never should have been a candidate because I already had 3 autoimmunes. I went from 3 to 11 in 5 months.
3 to 11. 3 to 11 what?
Autoimmune diseases.
Oh my, what?
At 5 years, no, in 2015, when they removed the last, I was drugged to a stupor to exist. I was in intractable pain and spasms 24/7. I had such severe sleep apnea, I required BiPAP and 4 liters of oxygen, a cane to walk.
And you know what's funny? You know, when I hear this stuff, And what I mentioned before, now you're fine. And you know what? What I hear from this, it's like this. That's what they're gonna attack the family structure. And how do you do that? You attack the women. You know, you attack the mothers. Because the mothers are the caregivers. They're the real structure that bring into the family unit, and that. So that's what you attack if you really want to fuck with reality.
Gage, your microphone sounds really fucked up, man.
Yeah,
it's
my bad.
Yeah, it's real like breaky.
But Cage is bringing up a good point.
Yeah.
You know, I know he sounds a little crazy, but he's bringing up a real good point. And one of the things that they do with the mothers too is they send you guys right to work. That's another thing. They make sure you go right to work. You got 2 taxpayers in the house. They fill you full of stress. Get a boss man that's mean as hell behind you, and like that breaks you down spiritually.
When did childbirth become a medical procedure?
A medical procedure?
The moment I got pregnant.
No, I mean, for real, when did that turn into a medical thing? Other animals and shit don't have to be rushed off to a hospital and shit when they give birth. You don't see ambulances rolling through the woods picking up pregnant does, right? What do? What do? They go to a peaceful, calm, safe place and they have their child, their offspring. They communicate it.
Back in the day,
I'm sorry, Cage. Was my talking getting in the way of your interruption?
I didn't know you could hear me.
Yeah. But they go out and they commune with the offspring and they, clean the offspring and the thing, they don't immediately remove the umbilical and all that shit. That's later, right? They do the natural thing and they don't have a problem. But for some reason now when a woman, they're pregnant, they got to constantly go to the doctor. Then I'll tell you what, this might be really cool. Oh, look, here's an ultrasound of my child. Do you think it's a good idea to be fucking beaming high frequency goddamn sounds at a fetus?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I really don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, they're like water
case, then where do they take you? The water breaks. You're filled with this sense of emergency because you're trained to. Oh my God, we got to get to the hospital. Hurry. And then they take you to this building that's full of trauma vibrations, full of mourning, full of tragedy. And here you are immersed in a placenta.
Well, yeah, no shit.
All that.
They're trying to
so then they take you in and put you under a bright ass light and you shit out into the fucking gloved hands of a masked stranger who immediately cuts you loose from your mother, towels you off, smacks your ass, and sticks you in a plastic box. Yeah, welcome to the world, bitch. We're in charge.
Yep.
Wait, well, hold on. Before you even fucking think, we have to give you your, they call it a social insurance number here, a SIN number, a social insurance number. I guess in the U.S., I'm in Canada, right? So in the U.S., they call it a social security number. We gotta hit you with that. As soon as you're in the hospital.
Yep.
Fuck out of
here.
here.
Into the
system. Start generating revenue. Get that bond.
Right.
Get that bond.
Yeah. No. We're gonna have your name with a capital whatever.
Man, that sound is terrible, Cage. That sound is really terrible.
I know. I'm sorry. I can
pop out and try to come back in with better sound. See if you can do something about
Cage
that.
is in that Faraday's cage.
Yes.
Dave, it's really interesting that this kind of went to fertility.
Is that better? Can you hear me better now or no?
Yeah, that sounds a little better. You're really loud though, but we can fix that. I'll fix that.
Oh my goodness, Ironworks! I just subbed you today. That was some good shit.
Family. Yes, I appreciate you. Thank you for that, man.
Yeah, man.
Matter of fact, Sav, Lowry, Barb, Cage, guys, I have got to jet because I gotta be out there swinging a hammer tomorrow.
Oh hell,
dude! Oh, dude!
What are you doing?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm not really. I'm swinging a proverbial hammer.
I got you. I thought you actually had a construction job going. I can relate because I have literally swung a hammer quite a bit. So
yeah, you're like, God damn, man, you digging a ditch or something, man? What's going on?
All of a sudden, they become British and start playing crochet on me or something.
Gage, you sound real good, bro. Damn,
we'll play some crochet.
Ironworks. The first time I had ever heard you today was today, and like I was like jiving with you, and like I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're with us.
I appreciate you, man. I'm glad to be here. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to be here. But all
Well,
good
before
things.
you go though, Ironworks,
Yeah,
I want you to be like part of this for a second.
Yeah.
Maybe help me out here for a minute and see if anybody here on the panel or in the audience can tell me what the fuck this woman says. Listen to this.
All right. We're having a hard time hearing, Saab.
I don't know why that's so fucking slow.
I can hear it a little bit.
Yeah,
it
it's
is very
real
low.
faint.
I can't do closed caption.
This is work that is going to be ongoing. There is no question, and I said this from the very beginning, that our approach to this issue has to be with a commitment to a long-term investment, and it has to be a commitment to consistency. The United States has to be consistent.
That's not a fucking human being.
They're
I don't
faking the
give a
whole
fuck.
thing. They're faking the whole
That's
thing.
not a fucking human being.
Well,
Fuck off.
what she actually said, listen, I am meeting with a lot of folks, and the work that we have begun is the work that is going to be ongoing.
Huh?
There is no question, and I said this from the beginning, that our approach to this issue has to be with a commitment to a long-term investment, and it has to be a commitment to consistency. The United States has to be consistent. There were times when we were more engaged and we saw good results, less engaged, and we can see where the work and the partnerships that deteriorate. So I am committed to ensuring that we engage in an active way on the root cause, on addressing the cause and effect, and also being partners in the Western Hemisphere, understanding that we have a responsibility. And if we ignore that responsibility, it will visit itself upon us in a very domestic way.
What?
What the fuck does any of that even?
What is she referring to?
It's
What
word
is she
spells.
Bro, it's fucking, it's word waffle being AI generated.
All right, listen to the question. If
These
you
are
got to
people
be real
fucking,
quiet.
it's a fucking, these are stupid retard actors. Like, you know? What do you
Okay, we
mean?
get it. We get it. You have to be able to listen. Just to the question. This is, and that was her answer to this question.
I am meeting with a lot of folks.
Are you meeting with the GOP leader?
With the GOP leader, okay.
She says, I am meeting with a lot of folks, and the work that we have begun is the work that is going to be ongoing.
She's gonna have to meet with the big G. It's called God. You know what I mean?
What the fuck? And these people just go, okay, that's good. Whatever. And we're just supposed to go with it, you know?
It's word spells, dude.
Yeah.
It's word
So
spells.
they're all gonna have to meet with the big G, the real G, God. You know, good luck.
Sure.
Yeah. You know, I don't know when we're gonna say we've had enough and we just ignore her, ignore them. Her and Trump, two
Bro,
peas
it's a
in a
bunch
pod.
of it's a bunch of nonsense. It's like Shakespearean fucking shitty play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's so engaging when you know that there's people that think that shit's for real. I mean, it blows my mind as I'm sitting here watching this from an observer standpoint, and I'm going, look at these fucking people are ready to beat each other up over this dumb shit. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding.
Soft. What's your take on the doublespeak, the Trump doublespeak today? And again, I got a lot of love. I got a lot of love for a lot of MAGA people out there. I know that there are a lot of patriots out there that want this guy to rule. But like that doublespeak was fucking freaky.
Which double speak are you talking about? Where he said,
I love you, Christians. I love you, Christians.
Yeah.
I'm not Christian. Like, it was so
But I'm not
fast.
a Christian though. I'm not a Christian. And I'm like, didn't nobody hear that? That's right. I heard it. I heard this. That's right.
It's very peculiar. And I'm like, that's where I'm at right now. I'm like, in the whole scope of this great deception, that's the one that really caught me as something that's we should probably pay attention to, because there's a very minor difference between I'm a Christian, I'm not a Christian. And we remember you slowed it down today. We slowed it down on our show tonight too, trying to figure out if there was a T in there or not. Couldn't figure it out.
Well, here's the telltale thing. I'm looking for it right now. Watch his head.
He did this.
He does this.
He shook his head. So what do you do with that? What do you do with that? Like all the MAGA patriots that I love you all dearly. I know that we're looking after the country, but like, what the fuck was that? It's fucked up. And you're like someone that's like, he did a double speak in a fucking microsecond. And that's tough, dude. It's tough.
May I interject real quick while Vlad's still here, please? Dave, you and Vlad were both military. I was a military wife for 6 years. You know, I had the Air Force literally tell my husband and I as they were sending him to Biloxi, Mississippi to treat him for something he didn't have. It's a mess. Anyways, they basically told him, if we wanted you to have a wife, we would have issued you one. So you're familiar with the Air Force. Yeah. So when Biden was sworn in following the inauguration, you know, that funny, it was sunny and that was shown like 12 hours earlier in the UK than it actually happened. But you're both military. What would have happened to you had your commander-in-chief driven by and you turned your back to him?
Oh, we would have,
as they did Biden's motorcade.
Article 15 start
yeah,
with.
we would have been hit with a article. For us, it's Article 92 for sure.
Yeah.
But it's all part of the same UCMJ.
UCMJ, man. Uniform Code
So
of
what's crazy is that a lot of times, if he would have been there and we would have been there in formation, in uniform, we all would have been facing him. If anybody does something otherwise, other than what you're supposed to be doing, you're going to get hit up. Like you'll get found out and hit up immediately.
Go watch the video of that day.
What?
The military turned their back to his motorcade.
Really? Why are you guys even caught up on this fucking? You know, everything they do is a lie. You know what I mean?
We're dissecting the lie for those that haven't seen it yet, Cage. If you've already seen it, you don't need to hear it, and then find something else.
Oh, this shit, it's ridiculous. You know, how do you even? I think what they want is our energy. They want us thinking about this shit. They want us.
Well, notice that nobody up here on this panel is angry about it. We're actually laughing about it. So if
it's fucking hilarious, really.
Yeah, but you sound very angry. So you're giving them energy, okay? You're giving them the energy they're looking for. We're not. We're laughing at them. They don't want that energy. That's joyful energy.
Yeah, we're trying to get to the bottom of it.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, I like that. Okay, I see.
Yeah. And like Nicole comes from a military family. I come from a military family. Like Veterans Day was named after my family in Emporia, Kansas. I come from that space. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck all this is.
My family's like that over here too. You should see it.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, what you were saying.
Really. Okay, I'm sorry.
You inherit like this code.
You inherit a
code. It's more like 83. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah. I guess. From my perspective, I was just like defenders of the land that we live on. Whether or not you defend a certain document or anything else, we have a responsibility to do this.
Or is it defenders' loyalty?
You know, and
you get to 83, or you add 2 to the 81, right? So it's more about the 81, or whatever you want to call it.
I mean, to me, it's more about freedom of speech and right to bear arms. That's really all it is for me. And I don't even own any arms. I live in New York City. I can't even have a gun here.
I'm
sorry.
For me, it's down to this for me.
Bro,
no one has authority over me. No mortal man has any authority over me. That's all. Okay.
And you know what's funny about that, Dave? Like, I'm in Canada, you know what I mean? They're trying to like suppress gun rights and all that. What all it does is embolden criminals and that. What I was saying about 81, I said 83, but I'm saying you have to add the 2 to the 81 to get 83. But either way, with the 81 and all that, bro, all these people, they have goddamn rocket launchers and grenades and shit. There's no getting rid of fucking guns or any of that shit.
Well, no, it's dumb.
Blow your shit up.
And who has the right to tell you what you can and cannot have?
No one does at all.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right. So inherently, when it comes down to it, government is violence. That's all.
But government's mind control, and they have to enforce mind control through violence.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
but
it is violence.
just like Larry said,
Shout out to Larry. That's exactly what the motherfucker's name is. Shout out to Larry.
So what's going on, Andrew? How are you tonight?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful, but I just had to chime in real quick because I'm also a combat veteran myself, and something about the UCMJ.
What Andrew?
Don't worry, I got stuff to do, so I can't stay too long. But either way, the UCMJ, which is the Uniform Code of Military Justice, everyone has to learn the basics of it just in boot camp, regardless of the branch of service that you happen to be in.
Yeah, it's going to be brainwashed from the get-go. Yeah.
Holy cow, Cage, let him finish talking. Don't jump in over top of people, man, please.
So in the military, what's really odd is I actually had to go to something called Captain's Mast twice.
Holla.
Yes, I had to do that. And what I found out is you're guilty until proven innocent. It's backwards from civilian stuff. And there's a lot less laws in the military than there are in civilian life. And I think there's like, what 150 laws or something like that. And they're very open-ended in a lot of ways. But either way.
What about Masonic laws?
Wasn't even talking about that.
Go ahead, bro. Finish up,
yeah, it's backwards. And a lot of people are not aware of how that actually works in military court, such as a court-martial, which I've never been associated with. But the biggest, I'm going to end with this real quick. There was a big ordeal that happened on my base down in Southern California. And that was when I was on deployment in Iraq. We were told, oh, yeah, by the way, our brother battalion, NMCB 40, just got busted for a major meth, like manufacturing and distribution scandal, situation that was happening on the base. They were cooking meth in the barracks rooms. And whatnot.
All right, bro. Do you think you did the right thing, doing all that, or were you just controlled? Are you really about it? If somebody doesn't tell you about to do it, are you really going to deal with it?
Well, let's kind of stay on the topic of it. Yes, people in the military
That's
are
right on the topic.
We already know that. We know that. Okay.
All right.
That's interesting. They were
talking about?
They were cooking meth in the barracks. That's fucked up, man.
Yeah, it was
obviously.
And you got caught up?
No, not me. No, we were on deployment when it happened, and the way they decided to go ahead and drug test some of the people that were very low ranking. And all of a sudden, they drive on base with like brand new like Corvettes and like Hummers and shit. So they ended up drug testing like everybody, like to a hardcore
command
sailing.
sweep. Oh yeah.
Hey Andrew, can I ask you
I
a
have
question?
a brand new Corvette, and I never had to kill anybody for some other retard trying to use me as a pawn.
That's not even the point, Cage.
Yeah,
it's really off point.
With that being said, family, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Sav, thank you for having me.
Right on,
Barb, Cage, Lowry, Andrew, you guys are awesome. Crowd, you guys are great.
Hey, I subbed you today. I love your vibe. I'm on your team. So like,
I dig it, brother. I dig it. And I think I subbed you. If not, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do that right now. But family, Saab, family, I love y'all. I'm out.
Cheers.
All right, brother. Have a great afternoon.
Right on, man.
Great day, bro.
Hey, Andrew, just because we didn't get a chance to cover this on the last show that we were just on for the last 3 hours. Like, we need more insight into what the fuck happens in the military, because like we're expecting there's a body politic that's defending us and our little our continent, the place where we live. We need to know what the fuck is going on.
It's really necessary. It's really a necessary thing, because without that, you won't have. You're not going to be able to have your opinion or have your talk. Really, it really needs to really happen in that way. But it's used, and these poor people are used in a way where I don't think it's really beneficial for humanity as a whole. Maybe at the moment it might be, but moving.
If you have 10 veterans on at the same exact time, and we all served in very different time frames, and we all had.
I'm a veteran too. I've served in my own thing. Yeah.
So we would all have different stories and experiences, jobs, deployments, duty stations and whatnot. So we would all have a little bit of a different story to tell. However, the story would all kind of start the same. And that's sort of like if you want to know the deep insides to the post office. There's a lot of different jobs at the post office or UPS or, something like that. So just because you're there doesn't mean you know everything about it. I mean, Sav, you had a security clearance above mine. I had a secret clearance for a little while, then it expired. And
Bro, this is classified information. If you're really classified like that, you're not going to be talking about it. You're going to be trained to the point where you're not going to be able to
Well,
talk about it at all.
the shit that I was had to keep, information I had on is now stuff that's in fucking museums. So it's not, it'd be like a German guy could come out and talk about the Enigma machine right now if he wanted to. It's declassified.
Yeah,
right?
well, now these assholes can go and try you for treason at that point. You know what I mean? You can be careful with that.
So can't be treason if I'm not allied with you anyways. I got through a loophole. When
Well,
you
apparently you're still alive right now with me right now, right?
the little oath you have to take, that I solemnly swear to defend the Constitution, all that shit. We had to recite it after the guy, repeat after me.
Why do they constantly break it every time though?
I don't know, Cage. Why do you constantly have to fucking break in the middle of a goddamn sentence when I'm talking, man?
Same
Hey,
reason.
Rob, can you drop Lowry for a second? Because we're frozen.
We're frozen. Just drop me. I'll come back in.
All right.
All right.
Hey, Dave, can I circle back for just a second to what we were talking about? Because we have Andrew here now, who's also military. Now, I told you my rabbit holes have been completely different from most. In 20, I went down the rabbit hole that is everything DC, and I mean it was humbling, it was shocking, it was disgusting. So I went back and looked at the inaugurations. If you look at the 2017, and you and Andrew, I'm pretty sure will note the significance of this. When Trump was sworn in 2017, every branch of the military came up and stood with him as he was. He transferred power to the military. He again did it in 2021. The Army Major General came out that day and said it would be a smooth transition to military power. 2 hours later, they turned their back on Biden's motorcade. On a week later, the live cam of the White House, here's the POW flag flying under the presidential flag. The FBI buildings boarded up. The major media buildings are empty in the middle of the week. It's like, what the
something weird. Something really weird going on.
They're fucking with you intentionally. That's what they're doing.
God. I ain't never gonna get to even fucking say nothing on my show, am I, Cage? Jesus.
My bad, Dave. I'll shut the fuck up now. I'm saying they're intentionally fucking with you. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
So they're just intentionally boarding up. Listen, it's what I'm telling you, and you're absolutely right. There's something going on. I don't think that we've actually even really had a government here in the United States as we believe that it is. Now, as I've said before, you've already been in a one world government since at least the late 40s. Okay, at least, if not before. The whole Allied command under Eisenhower was a little test run of that. Okay. So there's some kind of a show going on. Now, like I said, it doesn't matter which one of these birds gets into office. They're going to put in whoever they plan, right? But like I said, Trump was in on his own defeat.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't plan the damn thing himself. Okay.
Great point. Because, in the Bible talks about this, Satan eats his own.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is this, and he, totally predicted everything that would go on. We know, those of us that have been around and have eyes to see, know that isn't anywhere near the same Joe Biden that there was a couple of years ago, as opposed to the 90s, as opposed to the 80s. It looks as though they've had a series of actors that play the same character. And I think this may be the case with a lot of these people, that this is just a show to placate the masses while they go ahead and do what they're going to do anyways. This whole thing, I think this is the most we've heard about the election all cycle. All cycle. As soon as Biden died or dropped out or whatever the fuck happened, right? And they play this next little card.
It's all a part of the plan, Dave. Right?
Yeah.
You mentioned the bird, right? So you have the left wing and the right wing. It's all a part of the same fucking bird either way. Bunch of nonsense.
Well, my point is there's no fucking bird anymore. You dig?
What the bird has been put into flames or something.
It's gone. It's gone. This is a show. This is
It's
a
smoke
show.
now.
This is
Smoke and
absolutely
mirrors, huh?
100% a show. And that's the whole thing. Left wing, right wing. There ain't even a fucking bird. That's the way that this is rolling.
The birds got sent back to the abyss.
What I was trying to show this is what Vlad was talking about. And listen to, we slowed this down. I have this on this right here. I can't slow it down on this format, but I can pull it up on my I've had it as a saved video, and we slowed it down to half speed. And I'm convinced he says, I'm not a Christian. Listen to him carefully.
And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore.
Tremendous mind control. Damn it! Hey,
it'll be fixed. It'll be fine.
What in the fuck is your problem, dude? Why do you find it necessary to start running your mouth when there is sound happening, especially
Dave,
that people want to hear?
What time is it? Look at the clock. Okay, Christians, get out and vote. It's 11:11 on your time.
I know. Okay, cool. And that's one point
Listen,
right there. That
Christians, get out and vote.
Well, man,
Fuck off, man.
I swear to God, if you do it again, I'm throwing you off cage. I don't want to have to do that.
All right, I'll fucking control myself a bit.
Well,
Sorry,
you
bro.
said that now 5 times, and you haven't
Ridiculous.
done it yet.
It's all retarded. Like,
All right,
like
we know. You keep saying that. You're just gonna have to go. Okay, I'm sorry. You're just gonna have to go, dude.
Thank you.
I can't do that, man. I'm saying
Can we go into that thing where you slow it down, slow his voice down, and see if he does, if he's a Christian or if he isn't? I think this is really fascinating, this whole thing, because it depends on how slowly you do it. Is he a Christian or is he not? It's the most perfect example of doublespeak I've ever seen in my whole fucking life. You know,
Well, he's not. He converted to Judaism in 2019.
Yeah, and I think that it's really weird. It's like I'm a fucking patriot. I'm of the Father. Like I like MAGA people. Like I generally I relate to them, right? I live in New York City, but I relate to them. And it's like this guy just said right in front of them, "I'm not a Christian," right in the middle of a sentence. I'm to make it slow and like just let's look at it. You know, Dave. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Can I slow this down? I'm looking to see if I can.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have some things to say about this.
She doesn't like Trump.
No, it's not about
I'm
liking
not really
Trump or not. It literally is about Trump being non-denominational, or he's definitely not Catholic. I was raised Catholic.
I'm not sure what that dude is. I really am not.
He doesn't have a religion. He's non-denominational. So he doesn't.
You know what? It'll be fixed.
He double spoke. He literally double spoke. If I think I'm hearing him right.
Yeah, but if
no,
you
I
were
don't know
an-
for sure.
If you were an
We need to look at it.
if you were evangelical, you could have apologetics to argue with that.
Right.
You would be able to argue. He didn't say that. He said something else.
Let's
And
turn this
so
thing
it's-
down really slow because I think we're gonna figure this. I want to.
I got it half speed.
Yeah, half speed. Let's
and
go half
Trump's
speed
never
or quarter
served in the
speed.
military,
This is some fucked up shit, dude. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I'm sorry, MAGA people. I love you. I'm a patriot just like you are. This shit fucks with me right now.
I would have served in the military, but I didn't. I have scoliosis, and I'm not allowed to.
Yeah, let's look at that. Let's look at that, Dave.
And again, Christians, get out and vote just this time.
I love listening to Trump when he's like
You
slow.
won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I
You
love
won't
you,
have to vote anymore.
Christians. I'm a Christian.
That one. That
I'm
one
not
right there.
Christian.
Let's all be quiet for this. I'd like to.
I know everybody always wants to start talking right at
Yeah.
the important
Let's
part.
do it. Let's be real quiet here. I want to fucking figure this one out. Go.
I love you. Get out. You gotta get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not gonna have to vote. And again,
You're gonna have it so fixed, good, so good, you're never gonna have to vote.
It's fixed.
Time and you're never. Does that mean he's planning on staying in there forever? Or
Yes.
what?
Dude, I have no idea.
No, yes.
We're getting to the nugget. Let's get to the nugget.
That's exactly what he fucking means.
Get to the nugget. The nugget is like, I can't figure out if I'm a Christian or I'm
You're
not
still
Christian.
stuck on why am I a Christian? He literally is telling you that he's not going to get out of office when he gets voted
Right.
in. That's exactly what he's saying.
So
whether that's for good or for bad, I don't know.
Let's figure it out. Let's figure out what he says.
Well, actually, his intention is to crown himself king of kings of the fallen world. That's his intention.
Okay.
Now here's
Yeah.
the thing. Watch his expression.
He goes like this. It's
Watch-
a no.
and
It's
watch
a
his
no.
head, body
Watch his
language, and
head.
everything that goes with it.
I
Stuff like-
love you. Get out. You
love you.
gotta get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so
Oh,
good
yeah,
you're
I
not
know
have
exactly.
to vote. Fine. You won't have to vote. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years. You know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful
There it
Christians.
is.
I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You gotta get out and vote.
So did he say I'm a Christian or I'm not Christian?
He said Hare Krishna.
Did he say higher Christian? I'm like, what did he fucking say right there?
I love you. Get out. You gotta get out.
Get out.
Christian.
Wait.
I'm Christians. I'm a Christian.
See how his head does?
Not.
Christian. I love you. Get out. You Christians. I'm a Christian.
I'm not a Christian. That's what I heard. I don't know. But just what I heard. I mean, slow it down even more. Yeah.
changes every time I hear it.
Let's go slower. Let's go fucking super slow.
I got it as slow as I
dive
can
in.
get it.
Dive in. Let's do it. Yeah.
Christians. I'm a Christian.
Dude, back it up. Do it again. I have to hear it more and more. What the fuck?
I'm a Christian.
I'm minded. It almost sounds like minded. I'm minded a Christian.
I'm Hare Krishna.
I'm a Christian.
That one sounded like Hare Krishna. You're right.
I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian.
I might be Christian. Is that? Did I hear might be?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
What the actual fuck is going on here, dude?
Coupled with his head like that.
Babylon.
I'm not a Christian. It looks like that's what he's saying. But either way, we know that he's not. He's confessed as an atheist. We know that we've seen him and Vance both with the little beanie humping the wall in Israel.
Yeah, he would have to be literally the greatest actor of all time, pretending to be a Zionist, even though he isn't.
Okay.
If that's what we're actually supposed to believe, if he went to the Wailing Wall and put his hand on the fucking thing or whatever, then he's a great actor, or he's fucking lying about
Going
everything.
to the Wailing Wall doesn't mean anything. Going to the Wailing Wall doesn't mean anything. My question is, why doesn't Bibi or Netanyahu wear a fucking yarmulke if he's so fucking Jewish?
Because he's a Zionist.
All right?
He's a Zionist
Why?
motherfucker. He's openly Zionist.
Also, his daughter that he made comments about married Kushner.
I don't know what to make of any of this shit, dude, Dave. I just don't. I'm just like, what the actual fuck? I mean, like, if you look at him, it's like
the guy came. Look at here. Here's Jill was supposedly the same day as Biden came out to give his proof of life. She was in Paris at the exact same time.
Yeah, after Biden grew like 6 inches.
Yeah.
Fuck? And she was dressed in purple. She's dressed in the same pantsuit that she was there after Biden was like all tall. I don't get this shit. I don't get it. And look at Biden. I've never seen Biden look so fucking proud.
That's what I say, man. You're watching some kind of a stage production,
You're watching.
man.
That's what I think. It's like the world is a theater, and it's like it's getting even more clear. That's the crazy thing with me now. It's like they're almost making it so obvious, like the incredibly healing ear, the ear that like should have been shattered.
The miracle ear.
The miracle ear. And then you got a bunch of people wandering around with patches on their ears. I'm like, are they trying to do this on purpose?
Yeah, but there's no
To show
Christians
us
talking about
something?
the ear healing so fast. They're talking about the ear and like
Nobody's talking about any of
there was
that
that
shit.
biblical thing where there was like some like biblical passages where your ear gets shot off, and it's like the Old Testament stuff, which I grew up Catholic, so I didn't really learn the Old Testament. I learned the New Testament, but it doesn't make any sense. It really
covered that.
Yeah, it makes it kind of it like. So in evangelical stuff, there is this thing, it's called apologetics. Do you know about apologetics? Apologetics is like, it's not an argument about God or about Jesus or walking with Jesus. It's kind of more of like a image of God. We, like the people who believe in God and Jesus and like the Messiah and all of that stuff, they are really... They don't want to argue with you about whether or not you believe it or not. They want to know why you don't believe it. They will engage you in conversation about these things because they want to know, why you don't believe it. And they'll just be like, okay, bless your heart kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, don't say that in the South.
Well, don't say that at a Baptist church. Right?
I mean, it's just so funny, right? It's like
it's not funny. It's fucked up.
Well, it is fucked up.
It's not funny. It's
like,
actually really fucked up because that's literal. It's like biblical gaslighting.
Yes, it's biblical gaslighting. It's also like it's like just after this weekend, that thing that happened in France, that whole whatever that was. It's like I was like went through this whole thing today. I just sat down and I was sitting in the kitchen and I was like, what would happen if that opening ceremonies was they did a dipshit attempt on Islam. In other words, they mocked Islam.
Man.
Paris would have fucking burned to the ground.
Oh my God!
In a matter of hours.
Wait a second, like an opening ceremony
So
where a
why-
whole bunch
like,
of women got stoned.
Why Christianity as opposed to like all the other religions? Why are they coming after that one? And like I'm Christian friendly. I come from that world. I come up in the Bible Belt. I get it, but it's like why of all of them? Why is Christianity always the one that gets attacked? And that was a big one for me. I was like, this is fucking gross.
Actually, I think Catholicism got attacked.
Yeah.
Why did they use a fucking metal gun?
And them guitarists all up there in the balconies. You remember in Idiocracy?
Yeah.
They had Rehabilitation. That one whole section of the audience was all these guys with guitars playing a bunch of dumb shit like that.
All right, here's a perfect example of apologetics.
I think he's talking about ultimate
Wait.
predictive programming is what he's talking about.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like that's what happened.
Which is a huge thing about this. But let's just talk about apologetics. Perfect example. Ready? Oh my God, there was a guy at the Last Supper depicted with his balls hanging out, and then apologetics says, "Oh no, it was just a hose in his. There was just a hole in his pantyhose." The fuck are you talking about?
Is that the guy that has
the guy
ball
that had
hanging
the,
out?
Yeah, but it actually was just like a wardrobe malfunction
No bullshit.
in his pantyhose.
was
Why
not
the
a
fuck is
bullshit.
the man wearing fucking pantyhose? One.
I think it's pretty interesting though that the fucking power they had a blackout in Paris right after this.
Just directly
Yeah,
after
and
it.
and then the only one thing that was lit up was the church.
Pretty weird.
Do you know who I see
Pretty
from
weird.
that?
Also, who was the person riding the horse of death?
Yeah, the pale horse, right?
Pale horse. That was interesting, wasn't it? This is
Bar-
kind of interesting too. This was part of it.
Barbara, we thought did you fall downstairs last night, or was that like a long time ago?
That was 3 years ago. I dressed that on when I first jumped on. You know who
Oh,
Trump
okay.
reminds?
Sorry.
Yeah, thank you guys for your prayers and love.
No worries. No worries. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Barbara, next time if you do something like that, put a fucking explanation
Yes,
up on
please. Because everybody in the chat were like, shit. It looks like she got her fucking asses kicked. Like,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, just let us know, Barbara. Just please let us know.
Look at this. Look at this crazy shit.
Yeah, this is the nuclear bomb over would I think honestly that's Satan. Looks like a woman, but that's Satan.
This is from the opening ceremonies.
Yeah.
Why is the Statue of Liberty got its ass kicked? What's going on there? What's up with the space station next to a hot air balloon? What's going on there?
Dave, is that a scarab beetle on that face? Or
wasn't Lady Liberty a gift from France?
Yes.
Why are they kicking her ass?
Yeah, because I think there's predictive programming here. I think there's something's gonna happen, and we've already known this.
There's a Statue of Liberty just like ours, only much, much smaller in the Seine River. I've seen it.
Doesn't that look like a scarab beetle almost? And I say that because I know how sacred they were to the Egyptians.
Where?
On its face.
It looks like a blemish, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, what kind of bruise is that?
Yeah, like what does that mean? The satellite, then they have the space station rolling over the top of it, which is just a complete smack in the face of all of us.
In the sky. Where are those stars?
With a fucking hot air balloon. How about that?
Yeah, above the space station.
Actually, the hot air balloon. Do you know who the first person in Paris to use hot air balloons was? The Marquis de Sade, and the Marquis de Sade was a blasphemous writer and theater person, kind of like the current Thomas Jolly, who was the artistic director of the Olympics. The Marquis de Sade was blasphemous as fuck, and he used fireworks and hot air balloons. That was the first time France saw hot air balloons.
And they also came out today and apologized to the entire world, and they pulled down the whole thing. So I don't even know what to make of that.
Yeah, how the fuck?
What do you guys make of that? They pulled the whole fucking thing down, scrubbed it on the entire internet.
Yeah, they got too much backlash. And they're also trying to copyright strike anybody that reposts it.
NBC NBC is trying to do that. Yeah.
They can keep their hot air balloons. I'm going on a magic carpet ride if I'm going anywhere.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's a funny. I saw a guy jump off of a mountain somewhere like in Afghanistan with a rug. And he started, I'm not shitting, and he started flying with this like a wingsuit using this rug. And then when he got down low enough, he pulled a string and got his parachute and landed. And I was like, oh, we got these legends about flying carpets. I wonder how long they've been doing that shit.
Yeah, they're playing the symbolic game really well. You know, I saw the thing too. It's one of those squirrel nut zipper suit guys that fly through the, and they put a carpet down or whatever. But they're getting really good at like the symbolism is getting so complete that like if you have even remotely an eye to see it, which like a lot of us in this community have been doing this for a long time, it's really obvious to us. It's not obvious to everybody else. Like I had a buddy of mine who I loved dearly, an old drummer of mine, loved the opening ceremony. He saw just the little skim of the top, which was like good dancing, good music, whatever. And the rest of us have been doing this thing for a long time. We're like immediately like 5 seconds in, we're like, holy shit, there's that symbol. There's that symbol. Yeah. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. You know, so like
this is the torch.
You know, they're colorblind to it at this point in time. It's not that they're not smart enough to understand it; they're just colorblind. And
Alex,
Yep.
What it is we're seeing the emperor, without his clothes. They're not. That's the difference.
Yes.
Yeah, we're calling it out. We're not going, what a nice looking suit, sir. We're going, dude, your dick's hanging out, man.
Yeah, and we were all like immediately, like 5 minutes into it on I think it was Saturday. Like we're up on the roof, and I'm looking at it, it's like I can't even watch this shit because we've just done so much of this work for so many years.
Look, watch this crazy shit right here. What's up with this?
This is the torchbearer at the opening ceremony of the 2024 Paris Olympics. Their spectacle bears a striking resemblance to the apocalyptic scene from the 2003 movie, The Animatrix, which tells the story of how mankind fell to the machines. And I looked, and behold a pale horse, and his name that sat on him
that's Bill
was
Cooper.
Death, and hell followed with him.
Animatrix.
And
And it
power
doesn't-
was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth.
Well, that's actually from Revelations, Lowry.
But it doesn't.
Well,
But Bill Cooper. But it doesn't really make sense until they frame up the wings on the Eiffel Tower behind it.
Yeah. The DNA. There was actually a DNA strand went right up it.
Mm-hmm.
But he said animatrix.
Yeah.
He didn't say animatronics.
Here's how they push
It's
this. They put it.
animatronics. It's animatronics. It's not animatrix. Like what the fuck is
Well,
that?
the whole thing was just when the wings came in. That's when I caught it.
Aluminium either. It's aluminum. All right.
Oh, I'm just talking about production.
Aluminium. Oh yeah.
I'm talking about production. Like
But-
animatronics is like a puppet, like the movement of things.
No,
that-
Animatrix is a movie.
Animatrix?
Animatrix is a movie. That's what he's referring to.
Yeah, and then they position. Really, it was not really a problem until they fixed the wings against the Eiffel Tower.
No, it's a problem.
That's where most normies get it wrong. They just think it's just like some great stage show. But like when they actually put the wings right in that one moment, it only happens for like 2 seconds.
Let's see if they show it.
And
Yeah,
with
they will.
hunger and
They
with
will.
unaliveness and with the beasts of the earth. The horse was ridden up the Seine River by a masked officer of the gendarmerie, a branch of the French armed forces responsible for public safety,
Right there.
policing, and
There it is.
maintaining order. They operate both as a military force and a police force.
That's
According to the show's
absolutely on
designers,
purpose, right there.
the
that
gendarmerie officer
framing up.
riding the horse symbolizes the strength, resilience, and unity of the Olympic spirit,
Sure.
while underscoring the importance of security and order during such a significant international event.
You see where most people don't see that when they frame it up.
This is the torch.
Whoops.
Where you're not gonna actually know what you're looking at. That's where your subconscious is gonna catch that little spot where you have the wings on it, and that's what I caught almost immediately. I was like, "That's the fucking pale horse.
Yeah.
It's right there." But nobody's gonna see that. No, like 99% of people are not gonna see that shit. They're gonna see the fluff on the top, which is like good dancing. Maybe people aren't into like dudes dancing with kids, which I think is fucked up anyway. But it's like all that shit. They're not going to see anything below that little thing unless you've got a trained eye for it. And like decoding, I'm not even good at it, dude. I've tried really hard for a long time at decoding. And I got a bunch of friends that are really good at it. I'm just trying to get good at it. But I can see the main things. They slip these little things in there, and putting those wings right there in that moment was the pale horse. That was the pale horse. And there were a few other things in there. The whole mocking of the Last Supper. The Last Supper wasn't in the Bible, so like that's not really a thing. It's adjacent. It's adjacent to Christianity, and a lot of people know about the Last Supper, but it's not in the Bible. So like
It's
that.
actually not the Last Supper.
Yeah,
They-
there's a lot of things to do with that. But
supposedly it was the Festival of Dionysus, which is the festival.
you talking about the blue Smurf guy?
Blue Smurf guy was Dionysus, and then it looks like the Last Supper, which was the Da Vinci,
Yeah.
the Last Supper with like Jesus and everything. But there was another painting by Dionysus, which actually with Dionysus, I don't know who painted it, but it was of the Olympic gods, and supposedly that's what Thomas Jolly, which I don't know if you guys did a deep dive into Thomas Jolly, artistic director of this shit show.
Yeah. Anyway,
He's a Chinese, isn't he?
it's all just keep on. We're good. Just keep
Did
going.
you want to know what struck me that you didn't mention there, Alex?
Yep.
We've heard since 2017 the storm's coming. What storm, Mr. President?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look
Well,
at
what do
the
you
weather
think?
that day. I didn't watch the Olympics. I've not seen any of this footage. She calls me up and says it was beautiful, but it rained on them. The symbolism is like,
Right?
What?
What do you
I
think
knew
they were, what do you think they were
this point.
telegraphing? What do you think they were telegraphing here? Check this out.
Like the died suddenly dance. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but it was like
I never saw that.
The only way to complete that would be say brought to you by Pfizer. You know,
know, right?
Yeah, brought to you by the Vatican.
Yeah, right.
You know the
Hey, so you were talking about flying earlier with like the magic carpets and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
there's I dropped it into the StreamYard chat. It's like a minute and a half long, and this is an actual real thing that a lot of people aren't even aware of. That only one guy actually created, first one in at least modern history that's ever done it before, and now he has a bunch of other people that are daredevils enough to actually do it with him. He's a retired Swiss like Air Force pilot. Pretty fucking crazy.
Oh man,
That's a watch company.
That's a watch company, right?
He's sponsored by like
Saturday,
50
May
different companies.
2011. Falling from a helicopter at 8,000 feet on purpose, Swiss adventurer, pilot, and skydiver Yves Rossi, aka Jetman, strapped to carbon fiber wings that span little more than 6 feet, successfully flew over a Nevada section of the Grand Canyon. Rossi's carbon fiber wing is powered by 4 microturbines and has evolved since his first flight back in 2006. One of Rossi's biggest hurdles for the canyon flight was receiving certification. In the end, the FAA classified the wing plus pilot as an aircraft and even gave him a registration number. But the process delayed the flight from Friday to Saturday. The Saturday flight was reportedly meant to be a training run in advance of a more public trip Monday or Tuesday. Those later flights were scrubbed due to wind conditions. Saturday run lasted more than 8 minutes and reached speeds of 190 miles per hour. Rossi's previous achievements include a trip across the English Channel and flight over Lake Geneva, including aerobatics. The Grand Canyon is Rossi's first U.S. flight, and it leaves us wondering what's next.
Why is Breitling sponsoring that?
Because it's a
Why
really
is a
rich
watch company
watch company.
sponsoring a dude jumping off out of a plane like a whole new world style?
Why did Red Bull sponsor a guy to jump out of a fucking balloon at the edge of space or whatever? You know.
Yeah, and all of those athletes for Red
Then,
Bull,
you
they
know,
don't drink their stuff.
And everybody that talks about it goes, "Oh yeah, that was by such and such," and that brand name will be out there. That's all it takes.
Well,
Get people talking about it. That's all it needs. That's advertising.
I have
Breitling, come on, dude. Like Breitling, yeah, I hear you that they want to tag their name on it, like Red Bull, and them like, you know, jumping on trampolines off of hot air balloons and all of that bullshit. But Breitling sponsoring some dude jumping out of a fucking plane doesn't make any sense to me, because
they're rich
Breitling
people.
is
They're
not,
rich people. They do stuff that doesn't make any
it's not
sense.
like well known amongst like the whole entire mainstream. It doesn't make any sense on a branding wise. Like Breitling would kind of be like a quiet sponsor, not, you know, Breitling maybe would pay for Red Bull to like do the hot air balloon stuff. It doesn't make sense. Barbara,
Here's a better question.
Wait,
like
no,
Barbara.
I was going to mention the video you played right before that. You know how the people all died like at the end of that? My first thought when I saw that, you know, the first thing that I was led to when C began was the Nano Domestic Quail Project, which you can't even find a PDF online anymore. You can only find the update to. And of course, you know, the CDC has the zombie apocalypse that's planned, you know, that's coming. So when I saw that, I immediately thought, what are they about to turn on? 5G or 6G, right?
But what did you say? It was the Nano
Domestic Quail Project. You know,
Nano
quail.
Domestic Quill.
Yeah, QUELL. quell is to like contain, stop. Yeah.
Like a spider web.
It is so nefarious. It talks about putting nanotechnology in everything. And then they're going to use the 5G in that. Well, then this precedes the Rockefeller Lockstep 2010 by over a decade.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I had a good thought about that. Like really, like just watching the open ceremonies, I was like, I didn't really understand the spiritual war until you can actually see it, until you can actually see the symbolism and like everything else. And that's kind of like, how do you explain to normies, like, how do you explain it to them? How do you tell them, like, you are being attacked right now?
You tell them to go look at my videos. That's what you do.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of us have been in this game for a long time and been looking at this stuff, and it's just like, you're being attacked. You don't know it, but you are. Yes. And like, it's really tough to talk to people about the fact that you are in the targets of some people that don't give a fuck about you. They are psychopaths. They don't believe the same. What are you? It doesn't even matter if you believe in God or not. These people, the God they believe in it.
And they believe in it. The attack is on the family because Satan destroys from within.
Yeah, indeed.
Yep.
Hey, can I jump in and just say one thing? And I got to go. And I'm sorry to take us back to what y'all were talking about earlier when I called in regarding Trump and wondering what he said and talking about how he shakes his head. It's kind of, I think y'all are going backwards on what we usually say, because we talk about the telltale signs of how their body tells us something different. So if we focus on that, if he's shaking his head no, it seems more likely that he would have been lying, and his tell was telling us by shaking his head when he said, I am a Christian. And I think he said, I am a Christian. I don't think that you could just slip up like that. And that's such a huge part of this platform, is lying to all these people, tricking them all into thinking he is one. So anyway, I think he said, I am a Christian. And I think that's why his head shook the other way. I just wanted to express that, and I got to get out of here. But thanks for everything, guys.
Greg,
I got you.
Hold on, Greg,
yes.
Do you think he really is a Christian?
Oh, of course not. No, I have no reason to believe that.
It was a very spectacular usage of doublespeak. I've never seen it done so well in front of a camera and in front of a lot of people. And I'm still like struggling with it. We went through it like at quarter speed, half speed. I can't tell what he said. I can't tell if he said, I am a Christian or if I'm not a Christian. That would have been the most spectacular bit of doublespeak I've ever seen in my whole life.
Spectacular PR ever.
So like,
spectacular PR.
If somebody out there
think of it from a PR standpoint, don't think of it from a biblical standpoint. Think of it from a media standpoint.
It was doublespeak.
If he was going to want to let that out, that he would have made it more clear. There would have been another way. I just see
maybe so.
No chance that he would have said, I'm not there. And they just, because this whole idea that they have to tell us truth, when we have endless ways of knowing that he's not by so many things he's said and done, that they don't even need to come out and say that. They've told us, anybody with eyes to see and ears to hear. So it would make no sense. And that's why, again, why we saw the tell of him shaking his head no. And I just want to say hello to Barbara, too. This is odd to have been in the room earlier. And Dave's greeter isn't there because she's live on TV tonight. So love you, Barbara, all of you all.
Can I ask you a question? Because I'm just really curious. Like, I'm really curious about this. Regardless of whether or not, like, what anybody believes, like truth and your intuition and all of those things, like, let's just put all those aside for just 1 second. And my question, and I've been asking myself this question, and I feel like you're the first person that I can actually voice this question to, because I feel like you are really, truly speaking from your heart. And this question truly comes from my heart. I keep asking myself, what if what I didn't believe was actually true? Like, how would I feel, or how would I defend it? And I feel like that's such a complicated web, and this might be a rhetorical question or something, but like, my answer to my question of whether or not the whole Trump thing is true, my answer to that question for me personally is I would be sad either way.
Yes.
for everybody else who believed something different. And I feel like that has this gravity in a sense, like a metaphorical way, not because gravity is whatever, but because of my own emotions. And I just kind of want to know your insight on that.
Directed to me?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what that was.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not quite understanding what you're looking for there. What you were asking.
I think
Sorry.
I think what she's operating from is like when we're dealing with two narratives working together.
Basically,
a
I'm going to
narrative
be
and a counter
pissed.
narrative.
I'm going to be pissed whether or not I was right or I was wrong. And so,
About
like,
this specific thing of what he said, or if he is or isn't, or
About what this whole thing is in general.
regardless,
What is it?
the juxtaposition of it, I guess, is what I'm talking about. So regardless of whether or not, like, I don't like Trump. I've worked in publishing. I have worked in editorial. Rupert Murdoch signed my paycheck for a while. Like, I know, like, the media business, and so I understand some things that PR can do to sway your mindset and the control that this, tsunami wave has over people's minds and sway of things. And so regardless of whether or not I like Trump, I want to believe that he is going to be the person that, like, drains the swamp and saves everything, but I don't like him as a person. I don't want to vote for
That
him.
would be an easy thing to get stuck into, but let's face it, all he did last time, and he's already starting out the gun doing that right now, is he filled the swamp with just different creatures. That's all he did. Okay, and he's doing the same thing by picking Vance. Vance straight out said Donald Trump should never be president of the United States. And you
Yeah,
your VP.
and Dave, I'll be straight with you. Like the one thing that I'm struggling with this guy, I've never met him. I don't know if he's a fucking good guy or a bad guy. I've never met him. But here's the thing: I need to know whether or not he's a Zionist or not. That's pretty much it.
Why? It doesn't matter. Look, I'm going to put it right out there for you. Okay.
Can I answer this one? Can I answer this one?
I'm trying to do it right
I would
now.
love some feedback on this one because, is he faking being a Zionist or is he a Zionist?
It doesn't matter who votes. It matters who counts the votes. The popular vote doesn't fucking matter. You've been told this a million times. Everybody knows it. It comes down to the Electoral College, okay? They don't have to follow the popular vote. So your vote is nothing more than you consenting for whatever comes about as a result. You just agreed to the contract by casting your ballot.
Oh my God.
I don't like any of them.
Black Mirror.
I don't like him either. I don't like any of them.
Listen, anybody that seeks power should be barred from having it. That's just my opinion. And real quick, I want to get down here. Mike hasn't had a chance to say anything. Then I'll go to Barbara. Mike, how you doing tonight, bud?
What's up, everybody? Good to see you. I've been watching the past few nights, so I figured I'd jump in, say hello.
What's your take on all this?
It's a crazy world we're living in, and it just keeps getting weirder and weirder. I mean, you think that the next thing to come up isn't going to be as weird, and it always is.
Well, this assassination attempt that we supposedly had on Trump is obviously unraveling.
I think everybody can put like the timeline together of how spaced apart our events are, and put together that they need some sort of large look at the TV.
Yes.
Okay. Now we're almost getting back into this lull. Everybody's getting camaraderie again, and we're all getting buddy. Oh, look back at the TV.
Mm-hmm.
We need something to keep us back on the beast system.
Well, I'm saying boo hiss on the production value.
Oh,
that's what I'm doing. I'm like, that movie was so fake. You could tell that shark wasn't real, But
aren't they always
put it on a production? Make it fucking believable, for crying out loud.
It was NASA. It must have been NASA.
I mean, everything they do is that obvious. And that's not just because we have eyes to see, I think. I mean, of course, it's cog dis for the others, but
I mean in my opinion,
these can't just be mistakes. It has to be intentional when you do so much. When
in
any
my
of us
opinion,
here
it's
on this
intentional.
panel could plan it out in a day together. I was talking on the panel together, could plan it all out together, especially when you have those resources.
Well, yeah, man. The whole thing, it is a distraction. People are watching this and it's like, you know, like I was saying earlier, I don't think that any of it is, I think it's been fake for a long time. And here I go. I'm getting ready to fucking reboot. Son of a bitch. I'll be back in just a moment.
Barbara, have at it.
Okay, so while he's doing that, I'm going to answer your question, Nicole, from my perspective and what happened. I didn't vote in 16, and I you know, I'm older than most here. I'm 67. So to me, you know, turning 18, that was a big thing. But in 16, I was going through the end of my last 2 years of surgery and MRSA and all that crap. So when 2020 came around, I had known, I'd done my homework. I knew what Biden did in the Senate as vice president. I didn't vote for Trump. I voted against Biden. So when the election fell apart, I dove down the rabbit hole of everything involved in DC. And one of the first things I was led to was Trump's video of his first whirlwind tour in office. All but 4 nations bowed down to him and gave him the keys of their kingdom. Red flag number 1. And then you get red flag number 2, you get red flag number 3, and it's like, I just voted for the anti-you-know-who. It's like, holy cow. I was extremely disappointed. Angry? No, because I just sat back and laughed because I know who's in control and I know who won. So yeah, there's my response. So hope it helps.
Well, that was incredibly powerful. And yeah, I kind of had a similar kind of experience because in 2020, I was at St. John's Church when he took those photos, and I was at all of those protests. I saw it all go down because I was in DC and very close to like the people. Like there was that fire that started at St. John's Church. I was like I like met somebody working at West Elm who knew those people, and I like went down from 14th and R to the White House when all that stuff started happening, and it was the weirdest thing I have ever experienced.
Oh, don't forget Notre Dame.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And you know what? Notre Dame played a role in the Olympics too. This was the first time that Notre Dame's bells rang today, 5 years after the fire.
Yes.
Which I'm not sure if you've ever been in Notre Dame, but you know, being raised Catholic, like Notre Dame is a big thing. So when you go there and you see it, it's like stunning. So is, you know, seeing the Basilica and the Sistine Chapel and all these amazing places that have been built. And I just like feel like everything is just, it's lost its wonder. And it frustrates me because I'm like, you know what? I was a Disney princess girl. Like I did grow up like that. I love those movies, and finding out that Tinkerbell didn't dot the I on the Disney opening thing today, like yesterday, was really heartbreaking. Because I'm like that. Like, do you guys remember that?
No, I grew up in Cinderella.
Yeah.
Did you go full Mandela?
I
like,
did.
Right
I'm
now?
sorry.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this whole entire world is Mandela. But I will say, from a lot of the things that I have been like reading lately, a lot of the stuff is focusing on Project Looking Glass. And Project Looking Glass is this thing where they can like kind of zoom in on like say like a snow globe or whatever, and you can kind of zoom in on the snowflakes, and it'll show you, you know, whatever outcome. So no matter what they do, and no matter how many outcomes, this kind of ascension or creative consciousness or whatever Earth is splitting into, or this 5G, 6G, the whatever letters, everything comes back to the same thing, which is all of those possibilities at this point, they can be real. So any decision that happens, if Trump is president, if like everything gets nuked, like no matter what, we're all going to converge into this funnel of positivity that
maybe
they can't stop it. They can't stop it.
The veil is definitely ripping. The veil is definitely tearing.
It's tearing.
And people are seeing through.
But it's not going to be terrible.
It's tearing. It's tearing. It's I don't know. It's the whole Trump thing is like the weirdest. This is the weirdest thing ever. The most uttered word of all time in the last fucking 10 years is Trump. Like, how did that even happen?
Trumpets.
Like, how did that happen? Like a guy named Trump, and he's probably the most uttered word of the last 10 years. Yeah.
Well, you
How
know,
in the
his
hell
name
did we
was
get a
changed,
guy right after waging war on pretty much all of Islam, and then we get a president by the name of Barack Hussein Obama?
Right.
I'm like, who would have ever thought that much somebody with a name like that would ever get elected president, especially in light of it being, you know, all the Islamic rhetoric that we've received as propaganda. So much that they've got people convinced that Islam is terrorism and shit.
It's so weird. It's so weird. And again, I go back to this whole thing, the opening ceremonies. If that would have been an attack or a mockery of Islam, there would have been war in about like 5 minutes. Like there would have been all out war in Paris. The place would have burned down.
And real quick, everybody give you a chance. Go over to Crypt Rick's link for Revolution Radio. He does a show. I was on there. I'm going to be on there again. He's got some good stuff that he talks about, some interesting guests. Give it a shot and take a look at it.
Real quick, in my opinion, when Barack Obama was president, I mean, if that wasn't the most blatant, like, we're going to pick who we want, and it doesn't matter what you say, time, you know, it's like that was also a time for people to wake up. It's like, just because he was black, you think that the world came together to get their first black president. That's not what happened.
No.
With a name like David said, with a name like Barack Hussein Obama, right after we're capturing Saddam Hussein and what's his name in the Bin Laden, and we're capturing all these freaking Islams and doing all that, and then the guy, and you have to be an American to be president, and they just throw him in there. You know, it was pretty wild.
You remember the deck of cards? Do you remember the deck of cards?
I remember how nervous he was taking the oath. He was up there and he was friggin' shaking. If you ever watched that video, his heart was pounding so fast he could barely stand there.
You remember them decks of cards that had all the most wanted terrorists on them and shit?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that. They would put it down.
I got a deck of those.
Well, there's so many people saying, is Trump the Antichrist? Did you all see all the research people did on Barack? Of course, from his name, from Barry Soetoro to that. What is it, like lightning from heaven or something? I mean, straight up.
Did we stop
and then the deep dive into all the reasons people I can understand why they would think that of him. I'm not making that claim myself, but I mean, it's insurmountable with, I think, even more so than Trump. I don't think either of them are, but there's sure a lot to feed off of.
Did we find all the weapons of mass destruction? You know, it's like we move from one thing to the other so fast, and it's these major things, you know. Where did we find them all? Did we get rid of them? What happened? You know, what happened to that? What happened to the hole in the ozone? Is that fixed up?
Oh yeah, that one. Did
we patch that? Did we get up there and patch a hole, or what? You know, what happened to these major catastrophe things that were supposed to happen that they just let go of one day? What happened to COVID? Did everybody just all of a sudden get the cure? And everybody's good? Or is it all just brainwashing in the first place?
Mike, have you done a deep dive into loosh, like what loosh is?
Nope, I never even heard of that word.
Loosh is basically negative energy. In other words, if you're feeling bad, it's a farming of loosh is what it is. And like when you're talking about the spiritual battle in the realm, the way that some of this is just me talking because I'm just new to this subject. You know, the things that you can't see, the spiritual battle that you can't see, you've got loosh, right? And you know, when you ever go into a debate with somebody and you want to debate like an anti-flat earther and they're just a dickhead and they're just sucking loosh from you. That's why I don't debate these guys, because I just don't have any fucking time.
No matter whether it's bad energy or good energy, that's what they're doing, is sucking your energy. You're not putting your creativity. You're not putting your energy into something that you want to. It's always going to be given to you, your opinions, your belief system. It's all just forced down your motherfucking throat.
Exactly.
I'll give it more in depth as to how that works. And in just a second, I just real quick want to play this real short.
You know, I get excited about
that. Do it.
This is funny as shit.
After the debate, we ran a poll, and every single person we polled thinks that you're a retard. We polled African Americans. They all say you're a retard. Hispanic Americans also think that you're retarded. They call you El Retardo. We even polled actual retarded people. Even they say you sound absolutely retarded. You see where this is going, Mr. President?
Well, I just had a bad night.
After the debate, we ran a poll.
Austin had sent me one too, man. These
So
voiceovers are hilarious.
Lush for Lucius or Lush for Lucifer.
Oh, there you
is
go.
what they-
Sure.
The term that they give to the negative energy that is absorbed by entities that live beyond our visual light spectrum.
Yeah.
We have dark beings, demonic beings, and we have angelic beings. Okay. It depends on what frequency you're tuned at as to what you're going to attract. Now, the way the demons and archons work is they feed off of negative human emotional energy.
They farm it. They farm it.
They
literally
slash
farm
and
it.
burn. They slash and burn farm it.
Mhm.
Okay, they do like slash and burn agriculture, because what they do is they use you up, and especially like alcoholics end up, usually if they don't recover, they'll die tragically or commit suicide. They'll unalive themselves, right?
Yep.
And and there again, there's the big coup de grace, because there's all the family that they're not just feeding off of the person, all the other people that are affected by the negative actions, they're feeding off of that too, until they just finally use the person up, and then they go on to another. Whereas light beings replenish the crop, they rotate the crops. What they do is they replenish it. Good things come your way, and as a result, your positive energy feeds into more good things coming your way. Whereas the other,
there was a story, Dave. There's a story out of Afghanistan, and I'll never forget the story. It was a guy that was over there doing military work. He was actually a photographer, and he's talking about a guy who never had any sort of income at all, but he was giving forward constantly. He was giving forward every single day. It's something in the Afghanis' like life that actually works in certain ways. He had never had a problem ever, because he was giving forward so much that he was getting so much back out of the cycle. You know, the only reason that was such a sad story is that one of us, well, not one of us, but like our country bombed him, and he got hit in a bombing and died. But the dude was constantly giving forward. He was constantly giving out, and the world was giving back to him. And that's the thing that, like, I'm trying to figure out. Like the capitalistic system is fantastic. I like it. It makes people come up with really great shit and like really cool stuff that we didn't have before. But like, if you just go out there and give, it does give back to you. It's just none of us have any experience in that. Like, we just don't have enough time in it to do that. We're like, well, you're virtue signaling. You're a virtue signaling prick. Now, actually, if you actually do it, it does come back to you. We just don't have enough experience with it in the Americas. Let's put it that way, in the United States, on this continent.
Well, it's because we're
Well, good night, everybody. I gotta step out and go hang out with my daughter a little bit before.
All right, buddy. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me on.
Cheers.
I want to interject real quick here, Dave. The two most contagious things on this fallen world are fear and a smile.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's why I smile all the time. I got a lot to smile for too. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's gratitude is the language. Gratitude is the language.
100%.
Absolutely.
A million %.
Yep.
Find that fucking silver lining. Literally.
And it does. It does come back to you. It does come back to you if you guys go out and just do something nice.
It doesn't matter if it comes back to you. Just find it.
It doesn't matter, but it will come back to you. Actually, if you actually go out and do stuff,
yeah, but like,
it comes back to you.
That doesn't even matter. Like,
Yeah,
the
it
silver
doesn't matter,
lining is
but
what matters. That being present, the silver lining is being present, and that is why we're all here right now. 100%.
that's how you
I
project
keep telling
forward.
people, when I did Dave's anagrams, good Lord, it's been almost a year now, Dave.
Yeah,
Dave's anagrams literally say every one of us were led to this channel.
Yeah. You know what's funny? It's like I used to say like flat Earth fucking ruined me, but actually it found me, and I'm like I didn't search it out. It found me. You know, and I'm
What do
just
you
like,
think that it
holy
ruined
shit.
though? What are the negatives from
There aren't any negatives.
There aren't any, right?
Everything is great.
There's some. It's balanced for me.
I mean, I lost a lot of friends
and family, man. That
and that was
crushed, man.
hard. That was
That's
hard.
so hard. It's still a weight on my shoulders. I still have.
But at
the
the same
positives
time,
outweigh all that, which I would never give it up for.
dude, I'm lighter. I feel lighter than a feather.
Oh,
I
yeah.
really do.
Freedom.
Lighter than a feather.
Mental freedom is there's no price.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard over the last year, other people in this community, because this has been I was told on May 12th at 20, my Job trials had ended, and they hadn't been going on 5 years. They've been going on 10 in earnest. And it was like, man, the weight of the world just lifted off of my shoulders. So I'm so ADD, I lost my damn point.
Yes, and I'll tell you right now, like I want to impart this feeling that I have to other
Alex.
people. Yeah, go ahead.
I remembered it real quick. Everybody in this community is saying that they are, everybody with eyes to see are saying they have that peace that passes understanding. They have never, ever known. And man, that has been the greatest blessing I have received, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm done.
Indeed. That actually, I honestly, like that, you couldn't have said it better. I'm light as a feather at this point in time, and I don't have. I do want to show other people this stuff, but I used to be like the flat smackers. I have a lot of respect for the flat smackers and everything else, but like really, like I am just happy. I love everything. Like all the people I talk to get my jokes. I reformatted new jokes around flat Earth that doesn't even make any sense in like the heliocentric model. I'm just like, this is funny, right? And everyone gets it. I'm just like, oh shit, I'm in a new world now. I'm in a new world with a new bunch of people, and like I want to impart it to everybody else. And it's but I think everybody has to.
In both worlds.
They have to go. Yeah, there's both worlds.
Bro, I've figured that out. In this journey too, is exactly what I think you're about to say is you can only bring people up who are wanting and willing to go up, because no matter how many people you try to share it with, some people are. It's just the way the world works that some people are going to stay stuck, and you either can see when people show you, or you just can't fucking see.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah, and that's not your fault.
And it's not your fault. It's not
I used
anybody
to
else's
think it
fault.
was, and try to force it too, just like they're forcing it. And it's just like you got to let the world be the world, and then that's when the world starts to work for you. When you don't fight against the things that you can't change.
That's exactly.
When you use that,
Boom.
when you use that karma
Boom.
in your advantage. It's when you let go of the things you can't fucking just be. And you want to be in control of everything and make everything go your way. And when bad things happen, you could cry about it. No, fuck that. You just got to embrace the bad, because it brings the greatness.
Yeah.
God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change.
And when you do, it's
the things I can,
amazing.
and the wisdom to know the difference.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
It really is a struggle throughout life's experience in order to get to that point. But once you do, things start changing. The world starts working for you in a magical way, not just in like that's a coincidence. You're just like, what the oh my god, this is all working out. It's like, what the fuck is happening? So
Indeed, at any point in time you feel like you're in a bad space, like I mean,
yeah,
I made
we're so resilient, bro. Too. You ever think like I'm gonna lose everything? Oh my gosh, I'm in such a. Did it happen? No. It doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen.
Radical acceptance.
And I made
people actually manifest their own poverty by worrying about not having enough money. They actually do. Because what are they focused on? Look, hang on, I'll say over when I'm done, guys. I will. So by focusing on that and worrying about it all the time, you're focusing on what? Not enough money. I don't have enough money. I not enough. I'm broke. I don't have enough money. I don't get enough money. So consequently, what does the universe give you? Not enough money.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go into it with this, I'm like, I just don't worry about it. It's like, I'll get it. I'll have it. It'll come to me. It always does. It always does. It comes when I need it. Boom.
It never not happens. It's like, it's really like if you just like let go and roll, it always happens somehow.
Oh my God.
I know.
Randall, I swear, some stranger will come out of a bush and be like, whatever it is that you needed at that time, and be like, "Hey, man, any
I
chance
know,
you need this?" And you're like, "What the fuck?" You know, like, is this real right now? Yeah, in reality, and it'll happen like that when you let go.
Yeah.
So I just want to elaborate on that just for a second, or maybe like a little bit more than a second, but
Probably a lot more.
when you are thinking about something and you are like ruminating on the negative, right? A lot of people just magnetize towards this negative, and they don't recognize the fact that there is a second thought, like, oh yeah, well, I don't have any money right now, but that's fine. And then you find a wallet full of $100 that somebody just forgot on the stuff, which
that
literally
happened.
this stuff happens to me all the time. And it's this kind of, so spirituality is that whole kind of manifestation on it. But then in psychology, there's other side of it, which is kind of radical acceptance. And so when you're ruminating on something that is negative, you are like, oh, I'm not going to have any money. I'm not going to be able to pay this. I can't pay my this. I'm just this and this, and all of those dominoes of all the negative things happen. But then when you literally snap yourself out of it and you're like, yep, that happened. What can I do about it right now? And when you can literally get back to the now, you won.
Yeah. Well, that's all there is now.
Yes.
You,
and
the
one
future,
and now are spelled what? Blip.
the future and the past only exist in your mind.
The past,
Yes.
present, and future happen at the same time, and that's now.
Now one now one. It's a word spell. You know,
One.
so like
If you're living in the now, then you won.
one now one. It's it's word spells. I mean, I'd be like we're
No,
starting to
it's
understand this
literally
stuff.
backwards.
You know?
It's literally backwards.
Yeah,
Like
because
one
they
and
inverted
now.
it. They inverted everything.
Winning.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of inversion, this is how bad it's got. I guess this was a Russian comedy skit on the United States, on the West, basically. This is pretty funny. You got to read the caption.
Let's go for it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That needs to continue. I want to watch that whole series. I
literally want to be Russian now.
like, is that a show? I want to watch it.
Yeah.
You know, it's looking like those people are pretty based.
The Russians, I think the Russians have always been based. I think they're more based than we are. I mean,
Absolutely. I was watching, there was an address that Putin was given to, I guess, the Russian people like our president does. And he was talking about how the West is normalizing PDF and it's just a bunch of nuts and wackos running shit, He's like, they're out of their minds over there. They're just completely out of their mind.
I mean, if you step back from it, though, it's like on a world stage, we only get the news that they want to pump.
Yeah, don't we think that they're nuts? They're running around with fucking bears. That's fucking crazy.
Dude, they have pet bears. Pet bears.
That's what I'm saying.
And they actually kind of pull it off, too. They actually cuddle up with their bears.
They're crazy. They're crazy. They live in the fucking snow. Like, come on.
Can I make a point real quick? I want to go back to something you were just talking about, Nicole, before that clip. I want you all to think about this from a different perspective. Every one of us are still here, right?
We're still here.
So when has my beloved Father ever failed to provide for any one of you?
Yeah.
Rather than be afraid, trust in Him to deliver.
We're still here. We're still here.
Exactly.
I mean, after that stunt they pulled in 2020, they were still here. It's just fascinating. It's fascinating. I'm still here. I'm still alive. Yeah, a thing happened.
Do you guys ever go down the TikTok rabbit hole of like quantum death theory or?
Oh God, that's dark.
No, it's not. It's literally all of these people were like, I literally should have died, and now I just woke up, and here I am. And they're like, I don't understand, but what if we never die?
We don't die. We don't die.
Dimensions.
We don't die. If you guys want to go in a deep rabbit hole, go into the fucking life after death stuff. It's fascinating.
Well, people have said in the past to me, they're all the time, and this is, I'm always the guy that looks at the third option. And they're like, where do you think you go when you die? And I'm going, you don't go anywhere. You're not really here. And do you never?
Exactly.
Okay,
that's a good one.
All right, so
No, that's
think
so
about this: does it never occur to anybody because you take this reality so fucking serious, right? Where were you before you got here?
Yeah, I've always felt,
you were nothing.
I've always felt in the gut of my
Were you?
soul, like we're like every single person that's actually alive,
I was
you're
always
still
here.
alive forever, and you.
Well, how could you be
cyclical,
nothing,
bro.
though?
It's
Think about this.
cyclical.
How could you be nothing? Energy cannot be created or
Energy
destroyed.
never
Destroyed,
dies.
yeah. What is that?
Energy never
Is
dies.
that the first? What is that? The first rule of entropy?
No,
or
no, energy never dies. Have you ever
Yeah.
gone down the Hawaii Takata rabbit hole, or like the Reiki rabbit hole?
So check it out, right? The energy that fuels you, the energy that fuels you to have life and be present right now and be existing is the same fuel that provides the tree, the bee, the bird. We're all, that's the exact, not just a little bit different, it's the exact same energy. It's called life essence or whatever you want to fucking call it, life force. And that's the only thing that just consistently exists in a cyclical manner and will always be persistent. And that's what you really truly are when you break it down to like, oh, the Big Bang, that's just life essence. That's just whatever the fuck brought all that life essence into existence. That's the start of it all.
Yeah, yeah.
The Big Bang is an orgasm because there is an electric shock that happens.
You call the Big Bang an orgasm?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because when the sperm,
I don't believe in the Big Bang,
when
but
the sperm pierces the egg in the womb, it literally creates an electric pulse.
yeah, that's actually
So a recent study that I was looking into and reading suggests that we think that it's the strongest swimmer that gets there is the one that gets in. It's now suggesting that the egg chooses.
It has a choice.
It
Yes,
chooses.
Eggs have choices.
Eggs choose retarded.
There's that thing I was talking about about what Putin was saying. This is
Eggs life matters.
Sunny side up, baby.
Ведут против нас все более агрессивные информационные атаки. Целью выбирают прежде всего, конечно, молодых людей, молодые поколения. И здесь опять
Putin is AI.
лгут постоянно, извращают исторические факты, не прекращают нападки на нашу культуру, на русскую православную церковь, другие традиционные религиозные организации нашей страны.
Right here.
Посмотрите, что они делают со своими собственными народами. Разрушение семьи, культурной и национальной идентичности, извращение, издевательство над детьми вплоть до педофилии объявляются нормой их жизни. А священнослужители, священников принуждают благословлять однополые браки. Да бог с ними, пускай что хотят, то и делают. Что здесь хочется сказать? Взрослые люди имеют право жить, как хотят. Мы к этому так и относились в России, и всегда к этому будем так относиться. Никто в частную жизнь не вторгается, и мы не собираемся этого делать. Но хочется им сказать, посмотрите, извините меня, священное писание, главные книги всех других мировых религий. Там все сказано, в том числе то, что семья – это союз мужчины и женщины. Но и эти...
So you see what I'm saying? It's
But
like
the World Olympics are okay with the drag show, fucking phenomenal ceremony. What the?
I mean, isn't the ultimate challenge is really that it's clear that they don't want people to reproduce. Like,
that's the goal. That's the goal. Is to slow down reproduction.
Yeah, that's like the Russians are okay on it. In the West, it's don't make any more
propaganda
babies.
machine is different. They can't. And America is last because they gave us the right to have guns, and that's to defend from these motherfucking crazies.
Yep.
So when they come knocking at your door and they're like, "We need you to, lay it down and let us take control," they're gonna get shot in the face.
Yeah, that's the thing. That guns were designed. You're right, to protect against the fuckers here.
Right.
Right.
Okay. That's first and
that's
foremost.
what's happening right now. Is we're kind of like being the last ones to get like completely taken. What do you want to call it? Communism. Before that completely takes over, it's because we all have guns.
Yeah, it's like the one thing left, the one last guard is actually
The one last thing they're trying to get from
hoisting
us
a
with
thing.
this assassination, what do you think that's going to bring? More gun control and more gun laws, and they've been just snipping away. You can't have a pistol grip, and now you can't have a stock for it, and now you can't have clips for it, and now you got to use rubber bullets, and now you have to use an airsoft gun, and now you have to use rubber darts and Nerf guns. You know,
Nerf,
so
no,
Nerf.
no, y'all, okay. AI is the beast system.
Sure.
Every one of you are keyboard warriors for good or evil. The words are more powerful in the sword because words are actually the anagram of sword, and words are the only thing that you have the power to either build up or destroy somebody's life. And you do not need to be in the proximity to do it, nor do you need to be in the, you can do it throughout time. I mean, you can affect time by what you put into this AI beast system at this point. So
Yeah,
it's like
yes. And
everything, Satan's the prince of the air. We're on his media. We need to be flooding the beast system with the words that build up, not that destroy. So
it's Barbara, it's word spells. And like I've
Yes.
always talked for years and years, I've always said we just need to have conversations. That's the battlefield. It's not shooting each other on the front lines
Or we
with
just
guns.
need to listen.
It's
Because
like
listen and silent are spelled with the same
yeah,
letter.
yeah, and you just have a conversation. And like a lot of people don't have the capacity to have a conversation. That's what especially this community, I think we're doing really good. Even though we infight and we're pissed off at each other half the time, we're like, no, it's not fucking like this. It's like this, or it's like this, or it's like this. But having a conversation is really the battlefront.
It's called a discussionation.
Yes, sure. Yeah, the same thing. That's where the rubber meets the road. We talk about it because most people don't know how to talk about stuff. They just don't. They don't have a real conversation.
Here's one for you guys then. If you guys want me to flip your brains for a moment, the whole thing about energy cannot be created nor destroyed, I disagree with. Okay.
Right.
And the reason I'm saying that is you can use electrodynamics, electrical engineering, also many other things. Let's just say you take something very simple, a match. Okay. There's potential energy in the match, but without the striking pad, there's no actual chemical reaction or anything like that. All of a sudden, you strike the match across the striking pad. All of a sudden, there's energy there.
Where did the energy to strike the match come from?
Well, it's stored within the match head.
No, because it just
stored within the human
match head there. Hold on, that match head just sitting there isn't going to just catch
Same
fire.
as a gun.
You have to strike it. So you had to
Human
actually
energy.
expel energy that you expelled energy into the match, which in turn created more energy. So it's there's always a chain. There's always a chain.
But if you want to go into like the electrodynamics aspect of it, when it comes to power generation, like in batteries or an AC generator, then you're talking about something a lot different, because you can take where my magnets at. I've got my magnets over here. I've got my neodymiums right here, and I'm doing all kinds of tests right here at my desk. And right now, there's nothing there. I mean, there's the magnetism, which is a form of energy, I suppose, but it's being transferred into a separate type of electromagnetism of energy.
It just changed form.
We are creating it.
Well, you're changing form. You're causing it to change form. It's going from magnetic to electric, and of course, that electricity and magnetism are brother and sister. Where you find one, you're going to find the other.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Sounds like me and weed.
Well, the other
There you go.
side,
I couldn't believe this crazy motherfucker. We went to the wrestling thing out there with the midget wrestlers and shit. And I looked, and he's got this fucking satchel strapped on the front. The dude's got all kinds of dope in that motherfucker. I'm like, what are you bringing all that shit up?
I
here
went to the
for?
bathroom and this girl comes out. Man, you smell good as hell. I was like, and then there's 12 like sheriffs sitting there staring at me. Yeah. They were there to watch the show though. So
yeah, my webcam suddenly stopped working. I'm not sure why. It's kind of weird.
It's the
I'm trying to show you my magnets, and I got a Tesla coil sitting right next to me as well.
That's probably what did it.
No, it's not plugged in.
No, I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. My plasma ball, if I get it too close to like my satellite radio, you know, I've got XM radio in the house. If I get it too close to that thing, it'll fuck up the reception.
At Flattoberfest, Brian and Tommy should wrestle.
There
Hey,
you go.
Andrew.
Well, you know that Lore Lodge and Aiden from the Lore Lodge and Witsit are supposed they're setting up a thing to box.
There you go. That's what we need. We need. Oh, yeah. This is what we need. The rival boxing. We need the FTFE instead of the debatism. We need like the actual fucking UFC Globey versus Flat Earth.
Listen, I wouldn't want to get none of those nasty motherfuckers' sweat or blood or nothing else on me.
I don't want it to get anywhere near me with it.
I'll box 3 of them at one time. Neil deGrasse Tyson,
Yeah.
Brian Cox, and you pick the third one. I don't give a
And
fuck.
for those of you that don't know,
Bill
you
Nye.
can't really tell how big people are on camera. Andrew's a huge dude.
Yeah,
He's pretty big.
I'm all 6'2". Yeah, I'm not a
Pretty
small
tall guy.
But yeah, we hooked up. We met in Vegas, man. So
Yeah, man.
I saw
Fun
you.
time.
Yeah, you're a lot bigger than I thought too. Witsit was too.
Yeah.
Like, when I met Witsit, I was like,
tall.
holy
Yeah,
shit,
he's fucking
taller
like
than me.
6'5".
Yeah, he's a giant, man.
Yeah.
I know he's a tall drink. I pretty much had him figured as really tall. But I'll tell you somebody who looks a lot bigger on camera than they are in person. And he's a hell of a nice guy. You know Brian Young from the High Impact Flicks, and he's also got and the Here's the Deal channel. And I met him in Richmond a few years ago, and my friend recognized him. I walked right past him. My friend says, "Hey, isn't that dude you watch on YouTube?" And I said, "Where?" And I turned around and looked, and I was like, "Fucking hey, it is. He's a lot shorter than I expected, man." I really expected him to be a bigger dude, but he's not. He's about my size, really.
Well, a lot of people are like that, sort of like Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
he's a short dude. I think he's only like 5'8" or something.
Let me see if
Is
I
that
can...
right?
Hey, Andrew, I want to expound on what you were just saying a minute ago.
Sure.
You know, we know that energy, you know, and death doesn't exist. However, we are warned in the Bible that there is a second death, and I think that people ought to take that a little bit more seriously.
I can't really expound on that very much because I'm not a Bible guy. I'm not an atheist. I'm not a fucking retard. But as I always say. But in regards to trying to add on to anything in regards to the Bible, I can't without sounding retarded and completely wrong. I'll just say that flat out. Okay.
Well, it's been rewritten so much and changed so much. I think we all sound like retards when we're trying to talk about it half the time.
Well, sometimes, yeah. Some people just go to prison and then they read the Bible once, and then all of a sudden, oh, they did all these terrible things.
my God, I can't stand jailhouse evangelists.
No, that's just horrible, bro.
Me too. I can't either.
Oh
If you're
man,
in jail, they get serious in there.
I
Yeah,
can't stand those, man.
Yeah,
That's
they'll
what
come out.
Locke reminds me of as a prison evangelist. You know.
Yes.
Yes, I've been to jail. I know what goes on in there, so I'm no goody two shoes. Well, I am now. Well, sort of. I just don't get in trouble anymore. That's all.
Yeah, a lot of people probably, whether if you get locked in the drunk tank for a night, that's one thing. You sober up, and then you have your card taken away from you and all that kind of stuff. But versus something that's like, oh, you're going to spend 2 months in county jail because of past due traffic tickets or some bullshit like that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
one thing. But in that time, you'll see that there's a whole bunch of people that are in there for years. What do? They like to tell you about the Bible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What do you think about that? Ford is trying to patent a way for its cars to report speeding drivers to the police.
Oh, wonderful.
You're going to turn everybody into fucking narcs? What's up with that, man?
If the first company to do that, we'll see their sales plummet.
Yeah, man.
That's like the Bud Light. Yeah, you made a big mistake, buddy.
Sign up to be a hall monitor on every corner.
Yeah, exactly. See that short list.
Yeah, this is They think now they're trying to pass off this Kamala Harris as a black woman, right? And not even and she's actually Indian and Jamaican, and even the Indian community's dissing out on her, I heard. But this is kind of these people are speaking out on her. This is
yeah,
crazy.
and the thing about black people that live down in the Caribbeans, like Jamaicans, they don't consider themselves African American, which is right.
No,
like,
they don't.
Yeah, I got dark skin.
They're islanders.
Yeah, there's people with dark skin that look just like them all throughout the world, and they're like, "What are you talking about? African American? No, you fucker!" And they get pissed off. You tried to call them that. Like, just because I have dark skin doesn't mean I'm African American.
Yeah. I worked with a guy from Kenya, and he could not stand American blacks. He couldn't. It was over at the college, and he's I do not know what is wrong with these people. They don't come from me. They don't come from me, I can tell you. He was really adamant about that. He says, look at them. Look how they act. He says, this is no way for a man to act. And I was like, I like this dude, man. He was really a cool dude.
I knew a guy once who couldn't stand all blacks.
I've
My
known
dad.
a few of those too. In fact, I've heard probably every joke regarding black people that there's probably ever been written. Pretty crazy. Anyway, listen to how they talk.
Call a miss, lock up a brother for when she was the AG in California. A Negro knew, a black man knew that he was dead in the water. He was dead in the water. Matter of fact, you don't need a trial. You might as well go into jail if you appear before her, because she took pride in locking up black folk. And now all of a sudden she's trying to be sister girl. I'm telling you, check out her record. She locked us up left and right. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Yes, you did, Kamala, however I should pronounce it. You did. And now we're supposed to forget all that stuff. And she boasted in California that she was one of the first. I got to take cue, but my time's up today. One of the first, I showed you Thursday night, to perform a same-sex marriage. Y'all want to see it? You want to see it? Let it rip.
Let the rings exchanged and the vows declared symbolize your commitment, sincerity, and affection.
Yeah.
And may your love never falter.
May your love never falter.
By virtue of the power and authority vested in me by the state of California, I now declare you spouses for life.
I like what Maya Angelou said. She said, when the people show you who they are, believe them. That's Kamala. And let me tell you, anybody who's trying to turn America into Sodom and Gomorrah is not good for the nation. She's not good for the state, and she ain't good for black folk.
All right, y'all. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you're tuning in. I'm grateful to have you here, and we got a doozy today because I won't waste any time beating around the bush. Kamala Heels Up Harris is pure evil, and as Joe Biden would put it, you ain't black. Remember, this is the same woman that identified as Indian until she realized that black was better for politics. And I don't care who that ticks off or how much these liberal media outlets pander and gaslight for votes. Yeah, she may have some African deep down in her, Willie Brown, but just like Barack Obama, there's a whole other side that has to be claimed. You can imagine what can be, but you can't be unburdened by what has been, as old Coconut Tree would put it.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
What can be unburdened by what has been. What we can see, what we believe can be, unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. If that melanin content truly does come from Indian descent, then my man Vivek Ramaswamy should get a black card as well.
He should too. I mean, he's just as black as she is. But see, that's the thing too, is it shouldn't fucking matter.
Hey, I got a really weird political question I don't know the answer to, so maybe you guys can help me out. Let's say that Trump is running for president, as he is, and all of a sudden he wants to get rid of whatever that other guy's name is.
J.C. Vance?
Yeah, something like that. Vance. Let's say all of us, is he allowed to nominate Kamala Harris as his vice president?
You know, it used to be, and I think it should still be this way, okay? You run the two candidates, and whoever loses is vice president.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting.
Or you run separate elections. You don't vote for a ticket. You vote for president and you vote for vice president. And I think that if you're going to have what they call, I mean, of course, this thing doesn't work the way they tell us it does, but if you're going to have the checks and balances, that definitely would work in that favor, because, you know, it's quite possible and in a lot of cases, most probable, that you could end up with a president from one party and the vice president from another party.
Has that ever happened though? Has there ever been?
Yes, it used to be how they ran it.
No, but I mean, like the president is a Democrat and the
Yes.
vice president.
Yes.
Yes.
What the fuck? Seriously?
Yeah. It used to be separate tickets.
All right, I'm only 41, so bear with me.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's never been in my lifetime. I think it's after Lincoln came along, he fucked that all up. It might have gone a little bit. Well, I'm trying to remember when the last one that was like that was, but yeah, it was a time where you voted for vice president and you voted for president. They didn't run on.
Yeah,
a
I
ticket.
think that's pretty fair because, like, the Federalist Party, a lot of people are not aware. George Washington was a member of the Federalist Party, and there were presidents that came before him. They were considered like temporary appointees that only lasted like a year or so, but there was like 8 or 9 of them or something.
I think there was a good number of them were black too.
Well, and then Dave, back in 1919, they were going to run, I believe it's Roosevelt, for a 3rd term after his stroke.
Yeah. Or you mean Wilson?
Yeah, Wilson. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, he's the other prick. He's the other prick. Yeah. Yeah, his wife was pretty much running the country after his stroke.
Well, that's what they
Like-
said.
just
But
like
there
Jill.
was a puppet master.
Yeah. Of course, absolutely, 100%. So yeah, that was. And here's the thing: I wonder. You know, it says you can only serve 2 consecutive terms. Now, what if you serve 1 term, you go out, then you serve another term, and then another consecutive term after that? That's 3 total terms, but they weren't consecutive.
That's
the current situation.
Let's just say that the elections are legit and Trump wins this next election and he does such a great job. Like he said, you'll never have to vote again. He gets elected again as president. He could run again. I think it will work that way. I'm not sure though, but they've added another thing too. Used to be the only requirements for president of the United States was that you had to be a natural born citizen, 35 years or older. And now they've added you have had to have lived in the United States for the last 15 years. I don't ever remember that being a requirement. But
okay, so I didn't know the answer to this. You just sparked my curiosity on it. And it is the 22nd Amendment, Section 1. No person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice, and no person who has held the office of president or acted as president for more than 2 years of a term in which some other person was elected president shall be elected to the office of the president more than once. And there's a whole bunch of sections to this.
okay, so like a vice president, like the president dies or resigns, like with Nixon, and Ford comes in halfway through the presidency. He would have only been able to occupy the White House for 1 more full term, and then that would be over. Okay.
Yeah, but what happened with the presidents that served more than 1 term? Like it was like TDR, I believe, served
FDR,
or FDR served 3.5 terms until he was basically just considered unable, like a Joe Biden right now.
Well, he died.
Oh, did he die in office? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he died in office, and then Truman was his vice president. Now, Truman, there was a case there. He wasn't. I don't believe he was party affiliated. He was an independent, and the S in his name stood for nothing. He just put it there because it sounded good for politics. He
I saw that on an online trivia, political trivia.
Yeah.
It's like, what does it stand for? It's like nothing.
Nothing.
What the fuck is it there for then? Like shit face or fucking
Jimmy Carter.
Shill?
I remember we went to let's see, it was 8th grade. We took a trip to DC, a field trip to Washington, DC, and Carter was president. And it was kind of crazy because we got to see remember Amy? Remember the daughter, Amy Carter?
Lord.
And she had this oh my God, one of the ugliest children you ever want to see. And she was she had this tree house out there, and we all saw her tree house and shit, and we were all looking to see if she was out there playing in it and everything. I mean, it was just, I remember even then though, I took a picture, people were like, oh, there's the White House and shit, and I stood back from the barred fence because I thought it was pretty interesting that you had this wrought iron bars keeping the public away from the White House. I was like, yeah, the people's house, right?
Yep.
So that's how I took all my pictures of the White House, with those bars in front of it. Because even then, 8th grade, I was like, fuck this place, man. But it was cool because I did light a joint off of JFK's flame and smoked it in Arlington. Yes,
Oh,
sir.
dude, do you still have that joint? Like a little roach left over?
No.
That's something you put in a safe.
I was just being ballsy, and I got away with it. So I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
I've been to the White House twice. And, you know, I was in high school at the time for a trip called Close Up, and we had to raise money to go on it on our own. And we went to, all around DC, all that kind of stuff for 3 weeks or whatever. And the 2 times I was in the White House, they bring you on the exact same tour. The second time I went in there, I had a Sharpie with me, and I wrote something on the wall when they told us to stop, and I was like in the middle of the hallway. I was like, oh, perfect opportunity. I wrote something on there. They probably, I was looking for cameras and shit, but it was an A with a circle around it.
No,
That's
no,
all I'm going to
that's an
say.
anarchy symbol.
Hey, Dave.
You're on a
that was-
list, Andrew. You're on a list.
Oh,
man.
fuck yeah, I've been on a list.
Hey, Dave, what the hell was with the smile? I mean, Carter was the first election that I voted in, right? And I did not vote for him. What the hell was with those smiling peanuts? You had
Well,
smiling
here's
peanut necklaces everywhere.
Well, that wasn't just that. Okay, he was a peanut farmer. That was the thing they were
Right.
trying to sell. He was a peanut farmer. They were trying to sell that folksy down home country bullshit thing. His brother was kind of an embarrassment, Billy,
Yes.
who brewed his own beer. And there was famous, remember Billy Beer?
Billy Beer.
Billy Carter. And his sister was an ordained Baptist minister. And she saved Larry Flint.
Really?
Yeah. She baptized Larry Flint.
Wow.
Now here, just to show you the progression of shit, Carter was in office and he did an interview in Playboy magazine. People lost their shit. A sitting president doing an interview with a magazine that shows naked women, those flesh peddlers, right? That was controversial. And even worse, in the interview, he admitted that he had lusted in his heart before.
Oh, no.
As everyone has. Okay. But anyway, everybody was like, oh my God, not only did he do that, he admitted it, he lusted in his heart, blah, 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 blah. Zoom up to Clinton, who's getting Hummers in the fucking Oval Office, and people are like, it's no big deal. It's
Oh,
his
my
own business. Who cares? He gets a little Hummer to relieve the stress. That's what they're there for. You know what? How did we decay that quickly?
Well, then we go from that to Michael Obama.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, that was the
Yeah.
beginning, but then it goes even deeper in regards to people that were, well, the Jeffrey Epstein situation.
Yeah. PDFs.
And it just gets worse from there. This is just what's allegedly being presented to us.
Yes.
Whether it's real or not, at least it's being said in some sort of an aspect.
Yeah. And it looks like they're actively trying to scrub Kamala's record from the internet of all of her shit. And it's not going to work. I don't know why they bother, I don't know why they bother. But there again, it's all for the show. It's all for the show. But I still think everybody's like, look, Biden or Trump, he's a shoo-in. There's no way he can lose. And I'm like, I heard that last time. It doesn't matter who votes, it's who counts the votes, bitch. That's what Joseph Stalin said, man. It doesn't matter who votes, it's who counts the votes that matters. Okay. And so what's to stop them? And I'm serious, man. I can see them doing this. Got everybody on board that motherfucking Trump train, baby. Hell yeah. He can't lose. Look how pathetic Kamala is. And then they do that same switcheroo shit and put her
have
in there.
anarchy in the streets.
No, we won't, because it didn't have nothing fucking happen last time. The worst they could muster up was a self-guided tour of the Capitol building. Okay. And then they tried to make that look like it was all horrific and shit. It wasn't. Have you ever seen an actual insurrection or a coup? It's bloody. It's bloody as fuck. Okay. That was not that. Okay.
Right.
That was not that. All right. I think the worst people are going to muster up is that they'll say some poignant things on Facebook and on X and probably maybe get banned or get put in Facebook jail. And they'll be real adamant about that. And that's as far as they'll go.
Well,
the amount of people that'll actually stand up and do something is you've already seen them.
Yes, we
And
have.
those were all the people that did not wear masks. Those are the only people that are going to stand up. The majority of the people are going to toe right under and fucking go with it.
One thing I've noticed too is like when they pick a path or like a strategy they want to do, like with the Kamala Harris thing, they're gonna find their way to the end, no matter what, whether people are calling it out for what it is or whether it's working or not. Just like the C-19 or any other fucking bullshit plan they've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
They follow it through to the end and act as if it's fucking not staged.
Yep. Every fucking time.
You can cheat at any game.
Oh yeah,
you can create the game.
I go on a limb.
Can invent the rules.
I'll go out on a limb because I feel that it's a very, very sturdy limb. I'll say that there's never been an honest fucking election in our history.
I would concur.
Wait, presidential?
Yeah, any election, any fucking mayoral, gubernatorial, Senate, you name it.
Well, because I was
not even grade school.
When I was in high school, part of my mandatory, I think it was 40 hours of mandatory community service, part of my graduation certificate for my diploma. I volunteered to work at a voting booth, and all of those, there was 3 of the people that were volunteering like a normal. These people were all like 70 or older, so that's like, oh, retirement, we're going to help do that. And I was a volunteer. And we actually had to hand count the votes, and they went into an actual secure bin, and they had a voting representative that was there with us that took those votes away in a locked container. And then after that, I have no fucking clue what happened to them. So it's a weird dynamic to consider when it comes to voting.
That
was for the presidential, the George Bush election in 2000.
My mom used to work those elections, in 2000, Y2K, all of that changed because of the computer age and that. And all of a sudden, you go from the hand counting at the little local school building, and it's all done by a computer at that point. So Y2K was it?
I went with my mom she was going to vote one time. And I was like under the impression that she was going to write on a piece of paper or something and put it into a box like you always see in the, And then she goes, I said, what is all that? She goes, it's an electronic voting machine. Yes. And I was like, right then I was like, well, that's corruptible. And I remember asking her, I says, what's to stop them from, electronically changing that shit? How do you know that your vote that you cast actually went there? I mean, I saw it as a kid, so I've always known that there's the possibility and even the probability of fraud with electric machines like that. And I'm like, why can't they just do a paper ballot and put it in a fucking box?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it takes a long time to count it. Okay. So don't you think it's kind of important? I mean, you apparently place a lot of importance on it. Don't you think it's at least at that level of importance that the votes be honest and counted?
Yeah. The fucked up thing about that is only because of my experience working at that voting station, I think we had like 4 or 5 different voting booths, and they would come in and they would all get the same little ticket. Like you have to hand back then handwrite it in with actual penmanship, and then they would bring it into us, and we would have to verify their name and all that kind of stuff, and then sign off on it. It was a long process. But then after that, I could have just taken a couple of those voting tickets and just like stuck them under my leg or something.
Yes.
They would have been super, super easy to do. So
Hey, Dave, stand up.
Did you
Matt
ever
wants to see
did
your
you ever
shirt.
see them? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Barbara.
Stand up. Matt wants to see your shirt.
Oh, it's a NASA rocket scientist shirt, dude. They give this to us because
Oh, you got certified.
Yeah, I'm up here in this. I have to be certified to be
that's
up here
true.
in the ISS.
Over your right shoulder right now. What stars do you see?
Oh, I don't see any stars right now. Oh, wait, no, I can. Look. Oh, you can see all the stars and the satanic lights and
the
nebulas and
Hey, something long. Hello back there.
yeah, he's awful quiet tonight. He's back here. He's stoned. He's stoned.
Hey, so am I.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Well, I don't know. I kind of stay that way, but
Yeah, in regards to politics and the voting things, I think that local types of elections are very, very difficult to become fraudulent, only because of the small impact that they're going to actually have on anything, and they're still controlled from the So I think small elections, like your HOA, like I live in an HOA, and we have it's like we have like what 800 people that live here. It's not like a huge amount.
for those of you that don't know, a group of Karens is called an HOA.
Oh, really?
No fucking way. What? Hold on. I'm gonna put that in my trivia, David. That's real. What the fuck?
That's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah, if it's real.
No, I mean it's not really. I'm just saying that. That's
okay.
That's what you could. What do you call a group of Karens in a homeowners association?
It's appropriate. It's what it is.
No, I
You
don't
see, that's where they're going to go with this shit too. Okay, look at here. You have rights, right? You have rights. Now, what happens when BlackRock buys up all the properties, right? Okay, and people have to rent. This is what they're after, is serfdom. Okay, so they're going to have to rent these properties, but there's going to be clauses in your lease, certain rules that you're going to have to follow that would not be constitutional necessarily, but they don't give a fuck because they're a corporation. Do you want to live here or not? You see where that's going?
Yeah, but it's going to be
just like how an HOA, you can't have this, you can't do that, you have to follow these rules, blah, 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 blah. See?
I can't even put a flipping fan in the window of this damn townhouse I rent. I mean, it is ridiculous. It's detracting.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Colorado's going to be the next place you got to get the fuck out of. California. I don't know if some of my older people on here, if y'all remember Art Acuto. Do you remember Art?
Yes.
Barbara, do you remember Art Acuto?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I was just talking to him yesterday, and he's finally getting the fuck out of California. He said he's leaving California and he's going to Florida.
Oh, hallelujah. Well, that Florida is much better, but it's an improvement.
It's a lot more of an improvement. I mean, it's like the difference between, I don't know,
Colorado and Wyoming.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's that much different. You don't have nearly the type of oppression that you've got like in California. So now I guess Newsom has gone through with this executive order, and he's got them clearing out all of the homeless camps. All the homeless encampments are being removed. What are they doing with the people?
You know, it's interesting you say that because they made Denver a sanctuary city. And now they're reaping, well, it's like all of the motels and that. You can't rent them because they put all of the immigrants into the area. And it's all a government.
But these homeless encampments are not immigrants. These
No,
are
they're
American
not.
people. They're regular people. So I want to know where the fuck they're moving those people off to. Now, if you see, a big sale on burgers at McDonald's or something here very soon, I would be wary.
Yeah, so
You know?
immigration was supposed to happen in what, 2022?
Yeah. Well, I think they already do that shit anyway.
That's actually a really great question, Dave, because over here in South San Jose, in California, we
Mhm.
had a very, very large amount of homeless encampments that suddenly started over the course of like 6 months. It went from
Mhm.
like 3 or 4 into like 100, to the point where people were like, whoa, the housing prices, housing values were starting to go down because people didn't want to buy a house around that area. And the city of San Jose had to come in. I guess it took them a long time with the logistics and whatnot. And they came in there. Well, I guess it was overnight. So I never even saw them there. Like one day they were there, one day they weren't. They were all gone. And now they're slowly starting to come back. Even though there's like signs posted saying like if you trespass in this area, like by freeway off ramps and underneath things like that, then it's going to definitely be bad for you because there's like a new city ordinance saying that you can't do that. But homeless people don't give a flying fuck. It's like live
Right.
outside underneath an overpass or go to prison for a little while and get some food and a shower.
Well, that's just it. I'm wondering, there's all these people. They're obviously in need of food and shelter. They're homeless people. You've taken away their shelter. So where are they going? Where are they? You didn't throw them away too, did you? So I'm wondering, are they implementing the FEMA camps? And Rick, this is what I'm wondering. Either they're either using the FEMA camps or they're adding them to the food supply or both. I don't know. I wouldn't put anything past it. They found human DNA in so many different fast food meats. It's not even funny. And so I don't even eat none of that shit no more, man. It's like every Taco Bell, McDonald's, Burger King, all of them find human DNA in their burgers.
I think that the most shocking experience I've had in the last several years was in Christmas at 2019. I flew out to Pennsylvania to my Russian adopted family. You know, they adopted me, babushka. So I went out and spent Christmas with them, and they took me to New York City on Christmas Day. And we went down to like Rockefeller Center, and I believe it was St. Paul's Cathedral. You've got all of this beauty in that. But there were homeless people everywhere, sleeping on like cardboard boxes and getting drunk and screwing each other and everything all around you, peeing on the street. And I'm sitting here, and Catalina's only 7 at the time, and I'm like, good Lord, have mercy. What's this world? We spend all this money on all of this technology to allegedly go to space and that. There's plenty of resources that no person on this earth should ever want for anything, except for people who are so damn greedy.
Well, why are we the only fucking animals that pay to live?
Well, and who gave them the land to own to begin with, to rent it or sell it? I damn sure didn't. So, yeah.
So people got to understand. So it's this. It's not Iranians versus Americans and black versus white and all this other shit. It is literally us against them. And we have such a bigger army. We are so much more, so much bigger. If we all just said, fuck you and stopped, you don't have to be violent.
Nope.
Just stop.
Well, a lot of
What are they
people
going
throughout
to do?
history, people have done that throughout history. You can go into like Aboriginal tribes that live in, well, that's mostly Australia, but then tribal tribes out in Africa and whatnot. And like if they've heard about electricity, it's because they wandered off into a city somewhere. And then there's the Amish people that have just basically said, fuck you, we're not going to deal with that anymore.
Right.
But it's super difficult for a lot of people because they're so fucking addicted to their cell phones and the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that as a college instructor. It's super sad to actually see how addicted, like, oh, you get a vibrate in your pocket, even though I told your your phone to turn off. Like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter. You're right in the middle of a project, and all of a sudden, no, that tweet made more impact on your life than what you're trying to learn in electrical engineering. It's like, you fucking
Right.
idiots.
Well,
So
there's
that's my little my spiel. I'm over.
there's a reason they went after the indigenous peoples.
Had 10 tents by your Kroger, and poof, they were gone. That's what Stu Ratio says. 10 tents by Kroger, and poof, gone. And here's the thing: is why are there so many damn homeless people? And here's the worst part of it is that okay? These banks that have come in and fucked these people and taken their homes and shit. Now, granted, there are those that are there because they're kind of mentally incompetent. There again, I have to blame this whole social structure that we have, this even up to and including and primarily the indoctrination centers, the indoctrination system that we call the education system. Okay.
Well, the de-education system? Well,
I mean, yeah, the de-education system. Well, education to me doesn't mean knowledge, because I could educate you and get you to memorize a whole bunch of shit. Okay. What if I got me a master's degree in the game of Dungeons and Dragons? Okay. I know everything there is to know about orcs and +4 elven swords and all that shit. I know all the rules. I know everything about it. Does it make it real?
No, not at all.
No.
It's
But
real as
I
an
have a
election.
degree in it. And so this is what I look at. I have a degree in theoretical physics. Well, okay, cool. I have a degree in fucking Narnia. Well, it's just as good. Okay.
If you break that theoretical down, if you actually form a theory, a scientific theory, you actually have to prove it. That's the part of the theory that they skip over now. It's like they just come up with an idea, throw it in there. Oh, I got a theory, and they go and they write a paper, and they get a checklist, and they get a grant check, and they get to go play with some toys in a lab and screw around and do absolutely nothing and get paid for it.
Yeah.
That's what I look at. Yeah, it's bullshit. Yeah, it's not worth it.
Dave's degree is in Narnia paying off. Yeah, no shit,
Yeah, I
right?
know.
Oh, that's
Hey,
what it
Dave.
would be too. Yeah.
My PhD in sarcasm is a hell of a
Sweet
lot
PhD you
more
got there,
backing
Barbara.
it up than any of theirs do.
Well, listen, this is what I found, man. And it seems to me that the more educated somebody is,
the dumber
it's the more all in the tank they are.
Yeah.
Like with
I gotcha.
everything, the more bought into the system they actually are. They're like down for all the shots. They're all the moon landings real, and all this
Don't
other
question nothing.
nonsense is somehow a fact. And it's like, why? Because you were told that, and they gave you a piece of paper because you said it back to them. That's dumb.
Well, what we got from them was like, trust the science, bro. Yeah. It was
Well,
like,
show me the fucking science. That's what I kept saying. When they were going, trust the science, I goes, okay, well, show me the fucking science. Show me the isolated fucking V. Show it to me.
They don't have one.
Have you
Especially-
isolated it? No, you haven't. You haven't isolated, identified it, nothing. You just fucking trust the science because that word's supposed to intimidate you.
Well, I'm still back in 3rd grade trying to figure out how the hell something multiplied by itself equals itself rather than twice. I mean, the logic is so screwed up.
It's ass backwards.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was going to say something
it's
about
like,
the
it's like we said before. It's not about learning and knowing things. They want to teach you a whole lot about nothing.
Yes.
I saw a really cool cartoon the other day. It was this guy in the hospital bed, and he's getting ready to die, and his whole family's standing around. And he says, well, do you have any, the doctor's like, do you have any last words? And he said, fuck yeah, I never had to use algebra one time.
That's a good one. Yeah. I was gonna say something about the elections. How can you count the votes when criminals count the votes? In other words, basically the electoral colleges are just a criminal organization that are going to get their way one way or the other. Yeah. I had there was a rap artist that came out in the mid-90s. He had a song called Dr. No, and he gave like a nod to Ron Paul, which I know you don't like Ron Paul, but or Rand Paul.
Who? Rand Paul. Well,
yeah.
Rand Paul is not Ron Paul.
Yeah, Ron Paul was actually better. Yeah, and
Well, absolutely. Ron Paul was actually calling for something that needs to be done. Rand Paul is playing the right hand of the puppet on this fake little inquiry with Dr. Fauci, and then they put little clips of it up on YouTube for you to watch and go, "Yeah, look at that lying Fauci motherfucker," you know.
They're gonna fry him,
all along, and you got to figure Rand all along knows this shit's a goddamn hoax. So he's as big in the tank as the rest of them are.
I was going to give you one of the songs. It's called Dr. No. It's by Payday Monsanto. He actually does a real good job with pointing out his daddy's politics. And he called for the end against the war on drugs because it doesn't work. It's the whole point to it. There's no war on drugs. They're just feeding the system again. They pretend like they're going to take it for real.
Andrew. Yeah. You want to field that question? It's in the comments there. Can you see it? So do your students go through a sort of withdrawal even when they can't use their cell during class?
Oh, that. Yeah, they do. And there's an actual psychological thing that has been accepted by the ADA, which is the APA, American Psychological Association. And the term is referred to as nomophobia. And that is no mobile phone. Phobia.
Nomophobia. Okay.
Yeah, look it up. Nomophobia. So yes.
Nomophobia. You know, here's an interesting thing, and y'all can try this too. Just be careful who you try it with, I would say. But so you're sitting around, somebody's got their phone and they just set it down near them or whatever. Just reach over and act like you're going to pick it up. And watch them. They'll freak out. They'll act like you tried to grab their dick. You know, it's like, what?
Have you seen a toddler react to taking away a screen?
Oh yeah, no, unfortunately, I have not, but I have witnessed it a couple of times. And my response right off when I see it is I was like, why in the fuck has that kid got a screen in the first place?
Amen.
Well,
yeah,
I mean, he's too young to have a screen. Give him a gun.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, they make it easy with the blue lights. Yeah. It's psychologically controlling people. When I was at a birthday party, my birthday party, this past January 6th, it was like a family get-together kind of situation where my parents are like, yeah, for your birthday party, we'll just take you anywhere you want, you know, and just, you know, pay for the whole meal. It's pretty much a tradition here for the last, I don't know, my entire life. Anyways, when I sat down, my brother and his wife and their two young daughters, she's 3 or 4 now, and then the other one was like 1 year old, like barely able to walk on her own or whatever. And the first thing they were doing was like looking over and like putting their hands like, hey, can I have your phone? Can I look at it? Because everybody at the table except for me was doing that. I was like, what the fuck is going on with my family? It was really sad. And I brought it up later on. I was like, do you understand what was happening at the table? Like, we couldn't even conversate. You were all on your phones. Like, for what reason? I don't give a flying fuck. But it was not for the family get-together.
It's a phone get-together.
That is 99% of people getting together today is phones.
Yeah. I have people come over to visit. I have people come over to visit, and I'll end up asking them, I'm like, did you just come over to use my fucking Wi-Fi, or what's up? You know, what's up? Oh, yeah, sorry. And they put it down, and I'm like, yeah, you know, you could have stayed home and fucking talked to me on Facebook or some dumb shit, you know, if that was your game. Yeah, you see it, and it's really become like an extension. People don't leave it. And when they do, they lose their shit. Because let's face it, they've got it so that you've got your entire life on there. You probably got your bank information on there. You've probably got your pictures, family, and shit like that. You know, your email is on there, and you know your Facebook account and all that. You don't want to get hacked, and so yeah, it's become more than just a phone. I mean, very rarely do you actually see people talking on a phone.
I'm talking on one right now.
It's well, I mean, you know what I mean? Use it for a telephone conversation like we did back in the day. I
Yeah,
mean,
you know,
kids
pick up
today
the
are
landline.
never going to
Hello.
know the satisfaction of fucking slamming down the phone when you hang up on someone.
And the big
Sue
Take
just
that,
made
you
an
motherfucker.
excellent.
Clunk, right?
Yeah.
Try that now, you break your phone all apart. But back then, those suckers, man, you could crack a fucking guy's head open with the receiver of a phone.
You could.
That's no shit.
Especially the
And it's
payphones,
been
the
done,
metal
right?
ones. Yeah.
So you could hang that sucker up, especially those cradle phones. You just be totally emphatic. You make your point and saying, that's all I got to say about it, you fucker. Clunk! Like that. And you're like, yeah, that was a really loud hang up. I bet you that fucker's mad now, you know?
Hey, Soph, do you remember the crank phones?
Yeah.
The old party lines?
No, I don't remember those. Shut up. You know better.
I do. My
Dave,
grandma had one. Yeah. Sorry.
Sue just made an excellent comment. She was talking about, you know, how you've got these kids in diapers. My neighbors moved out a year ago. Their daughters were 1.5 and 3.5. My kids were potty trained at 2. My daughter, or my son, I never had a daughter. Her daughter, 3.5, almost 4, in diapers, and it was always wet, hanging down to her knees. What the hell are these parents doing to it?
Nothing.
No.
Anymore, the reality of it is this, okay? This
It's
is
a welfare
another
nation.
thing that by pushing the promiscuity aspect of this whole agenda, this dissolution of the family, we end up with already pre-made broken families.
Yes.
Okay. So most people don't, it's come to a point now where a lot of people, they're not planning to have children. They end up having children as a result of a random sexual encounter.
Yes.
And then they have to deal with it. And there's part of it too. You got these apps where you just hook up, right? Well, here's the thing. Two people, they don't date. Nobody dates anymore, right?
Yep.
They just, hey, you're pretty hot. Let's go fuck. And that's what they do. And a lot of times people end up knocked up, right? And so in lieu of killing the child, they go ahead and have the child. The guy doesn't want anything to do with it, or he's a piece of trash or whatever else. And this child grows up in a fatherless home. And here's a ready-made family waiting for the next unsuspecting guy to come along and take care of it. It's sort of like how the cuckoo bird works.
Well, I think they did that really bad in the 70s, especially with the blacks and the Hispanics.
Who did we just lose?
Oh, no. The other guy. What's his name?
Andrew.
Andrew. Where'd Andrew
Did he
go?
step out? I don't know.
He must have.
Yeah. I'm really excited. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
But that's all right. I'm going to land the plane. I'm going to land this plane here in a couple minutes anyways. It's getting
that's a plane?
late. I was on early today, and then I was on I was on Flatzoid's show, and then now my own. So that's 3 shows already tonight.
So Roger, the church didn't burn up?
No, it didn't. And there were actually people going into the church too. There were actually families that were coming in. This is a really small church. It ain't nothing really. I don't think Duffy has the money that they say he has. There's no, if he is, he's hiding it well, or is all in the bank, or they've confiscated all his money. One of the two, which is probably more likely what's happened with it.
Interesting.
That's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah, hey, he's pretty timid when you meet him. He ain't that charismatic as he is on the YouTube. He puts on a show.
He's not got all that bravado.
No, he doesn't. No, and he's got 5 kids, and they're young. They're anywhere from 5 to 7 years old. It looks like to me. And they were playing with drones in the parking lot. I was trying to film it, but the kid kept flying it up over, and I tried to turn up the camera. I couldn't catch he's moving fast. Well, they were having fun out there. Yeah,
well, that's cool.
It's a nice little community, but I mean, this whole thing with the Antarctic thing is nothing but a scam, dude. He's trying to make something out of it. I think he's going to get revenge for whatever happened to Bob Earhart. And I don't know how he passed. I don't know what happened with him. So.
Their story is that he died of COVID.
Mm-hmm. And that was Rob Skiba too,
and
right?
then they're saying, well, it was the hospital that killed him or whatever. I don't know all the particulars of it. I just know that Enyart guy is a shady fucking character. That's all I can say.
Well, didn't he say that he wanted
guy
to
to have
flat
spent
earther?
that much time with him, you know, and being his producer and shit, and not know the kind of shit this guy was delving into and doing. I mean, this guy, I mean, I'm convinced that he's, you know, multiple online personalities and things like that. So there's some shady shit. And of course, I'm going to be wary, you know, I'm not going to get into a van that's offering free candy. Why is it free? What the fuck is in it for you? Right?
You mean you're not going to check into the FEMA camps?
No.
No.
If I come to the FEMA camp, listen, if I get to a FEMA camp, it's going to be there to bust you out.
Cool.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's how that's going to work.
I remember the homeless carts that were on the sides of the roads back in the 90s, and everybody disappeared. And there's a FEMA camp like 2 miles up the road, and they're all in tents and stuff. Like, were they trying to actually help the homeless, or were they trying to get rid of the homeless? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I'm wondering what they're doing with these fucking homeless people now.
Yeah. Well, the camps are grown, dude. They doubled in size by the 2000s. I was in Tempe and Phoenix, and man, I could not go down a street in the city without like wading through a camp. They're everywhere, dude. And they would move around like gypsies, and the cops would bust people in them all the time, and they would move to another spot, and then they'd be back there in the same spot the next week. It's like,
fuck
all right.
you, Austin. Fuck you, Austin Murphy.
What do you say?
He says, I've been hearing Sob's voice all day. I've heard enough.
Yeah, we've been going since 9 o'clock this morning almost.
Yeah. Well,
That's
like I
been
said, I'm
rough.
gonna land this plane, man. We're well over 3.5 hours, coming up on 3 3/4 hours. So
I'm
I
glad
wanna
you put a
thank
smile
both
on Barbara's
for-
face.
Yeah, and I just want to thank both y'all for coming on here tonight, and
no
to
problem.
let everybody know, join us next time on Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind. Don't forget, the Lord loves the working man. Don't trust Whitey. See your doctor and get rid of his ass, because he'll probably kill you. So good night, everybody.
Good night.